Good morning, everyone. Hello. Hopefully, I'm live. I've been having massive problems with YouTube recently. It has been kicking me in the bum. I've been having a lot of problems streaming video games with YouTube not working. I'm wow. Hi, Isaiah. Is it Isaiah? Um, yeah, I've been having a lot of problems with, yeah, YouTube doing weird things. Like it's still not showing me the analytics correctly. I've been having huge problems with the metrics out of it for when I'm streaming video games. Although I'd like to thank everyone who has supported me over on the gaming channel. More importantly, I do want to thank. Wow. So the channel went live, and all of a sudden, literally, the channel just reset. Like I've got no information at all on anything. But I do want to thank everyone who has jumped on board as a channel member recently. So I recently turned on memberships because I was getting a lot of pressure from YouTube to do so, and I figured I'm not forcing anyone to do that. And so people can ignore it if they wish to, but I do wish to thank Full Deck and Missing a Few Cards, Scott Brooks, and Gitanji Dugai for jumping on board. Is it Dugai or Dougal for jumping on board? Um, and for being a channel member, which I still want Patreon to be my main form of support, but for doing that, when I post videos, which I often do, anything up to a week in advance, they will see those videos before they go live on the channel. And I have recorded a series of videos which will be member exclusive, but it is the Nala's Adventure series, and those videos, solves of those puzzles, is available for free over on Lucian's Place. So hopefully people who want to see those puzzles solved can go see them over there. Hi, Chris, hi Butterfly, how are you? I also want to thank everyone, like not many people from, oh, actually quite a few people, everyone who's jumped on board and watched me play video games over on BremSter's Games recently. That channel is nearly 200 subscribers now, and that's awesome. Yeah, this channel, I used to get 500 subscribers for every video, every 100 videos I would post, and that used to, so about 5 subscribers a video, and that held true for the first 700 videos, and 700 to 800, I went down in subscribers. And maybe I'm hoping that by 900 videos, I'll have hit the 4,000 subscriber mark. We'll see how we go. Anyway, I did just want to get that out of the way, thanking everyone who's jumped on board as a channel member. But as I said, Patreon is still where I want everything to run. Am I getting information yet? Kind of. Okay, cool. Okay, so there are people here. Okay, I can't remember where you're based, Butterfly, but yeah, I mean, my sleep schedule recently has been just poor. I'm on at the moment. I know I'm up on against Tristan on Zadamath's channel, and that is just not intentional. It's just I don't get many times to stream when most of my audience is awake. I'm on the other side of a sphere, which rotates, and the sun doesn't do the normal thing. And I have a day job, so I can't just rotate my my sleep schedule to suit everyone. So my streaming time, considering I have other obligations as well, is limited. So I stream when I can, and if I'm up against someone else, all I can do is say, "I'm sorry to Tristan over on Zadamath's channel. If you want to go watch there, please do." Anyway, um, hopefully people will catch this in a VOD. Let's do some puzzles. So I'm currently doing the 2023 gas puzzles. I think the formatting is probably good. As you can see, it's 7:30 in the morning here. You can see the clock there. That's a clock. Anyway, that's showing my local time. Um, so, what we are doing here is, hey Selby. So what I'm doing here is, yeah, guess puzzles. So in these puzzles, and most of them anyway, normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digit 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. In this one, which is your miniganda, is it you? Yuminiganda, I can't remember the pronunciation. This is a region sum line puzzle from the 8th of April 2023. Had to go check the date somewhere else. So digits along a line must sum to the same total in every box the line passes through. So these three digits will have the same sum as those three digits will have the same sum as those three digits will have the same sum as those three digits. I have no idea how to make this work, except I'm pretty certain the sum is going to be 15. So, I am going to restart the puzzle to refresh the cache and everything. I have no idea whether the tool I have been given, which doesn't load automatically, to mean I don't have a clock, is going to work correctly or not. Oh, you're in Germany. Oh, I love Germany. I'd love to go back to Germany. We had a second holiday booked to go to Germany in October of 2020. You can guess how that went, and we've just never been able to make it work again. Anyway, let's give this a shot. So, is that a naked single? One, two, it could be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is either 3 or 6. But what I'm looking at, this has the same sum as this. I think I've got to do some Sudoku first. I get the feeling it's going to be 15 because the maximum this could be is 4, 5, and 6 because it can't be 7, 8, 9. But the minimum this could be is 4, 5, 6. So if the maximum this could be is 4, 5, 6 and the minimum this could be is 4, 5, 6, surely they have to be 15. Because I can't make this any lower than 15 and I can't make this any higher than 15. So the line is 15. The line is absolutely 15. So I know, for example, those sum to 6 and they can't be. So these sum to 6. They can't be 3, 3 because they're in the same box. They can't be, hey Rat Finks, they can't be 2, 4. So these are 1 and 5. It just has to be. So these are all 15 lines. This doesn't have a low digit on it, so it's 4, 5, 6. This doesn't have a high digit on it, so it's 6 with 4 and 5. And this is the 5 and this is the 4. So these are actually 2 and 3, and I know the order. This is 2, this is 3. There's no 4 there, there's no 4 there, so this is the 4. The 6 here makes this the 5 and this the 6. I'm doing okay. So there must be a 5 on this line because you must use a middle digit on a 15 sum in 3. So there's no 5 here. Sorry, there's no 5s in those, so that's a 5, which means this is the 1 and this is the 5. These sum to 10, which means they're either 1, 9 or 3, 7. Can't put a 1 there, so it's either 1 with 9 there. I can't do 1, 9, so these are 3, 7. So that's the 7 and that's the 3, and these are 1 and 9, and I know the order, 1 and 9. So these are 1, 4, 8. That's not a 1. Okay, these are 3, 9. Okay. And well, hang on, let's look at this. These sum to 10. Yeah, actually, this is going to work, isn't it? 2, 6, 7. So 7 there would require 3 there. 6 would require 4, and 2 would require 8. So this is not a 1, is basically what I'm getting. So this is the 1, which puts 1 in one of those two. There must be a low digit on this. So there is a 1 on it, and it's in one of those two. There must be a middle digit on here. It's either 5 or 6. I can't put a 5 or a 6 there. Actually, what is this triple? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 7, 8. So this is a 1. So this is a 1. This is a 7, 8. I have to put a high digit. No, this could be 4, 5, 6 still, couldn't it? This still could be 4, 5, 6. But these have to sum to 14. I must put I've got the low digit. I must put a mid, which will be a 5 or a 6, and a high, which will be a 7 or a 9. So hang on, 14. 9, 5, or 8, 6. Well, it's 9, 5. What are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And the 8 makes that 7 and that 8. I'm just doing bad Sudoku, but that's normal for me. 6, 7 go in there. 2, 4 goes in there. And 1, 2, 3, 8 goes in there. These are also 14. So they're 9, 5, or 8, 6. So it's either 9, 5, or 8, 6 in either direction. Whoops, that's not where I meant to put it. I meant to put it there. These, again, that could be 4, 5, 6, I think. What are these? 1, 2, 3. No, that's 5. 3, 5. So this can't be 4, 5, 6. So I need to put a low digit onto there. So they're 11. So 9, 2. Well, that's a 1. So the low digit is 2. This is 2, 9. And that 2 means that's the 9, that's the 2, that's the 5, that's the 9. So these are 6 and 7. The 6 here means that's 7, that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 go in. So this is a 7, which means this is a 6, this is a 7, which means this is an 8, this is a 6. There's no 6 there. These sum to 14. So 6 coming out of there takes 8 out of there, I think. I shouldn't stream this early, but I really shouldn't stream this early. But it is when it is free, it is doable and stuff. 8 and 3 and 8. So these sum to 9. Without, they're not 1, they're not 1, 8, they're not 2, 7, they're not 3, 6. So these are 4 and 5. So 4 and 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 2 and 3 go into those. These are 2, 5. So we've got 2 and 5, which means there's no 2 there. This is 8, which means this is 6, which means this is 7 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 6. These means that's 4 and 8. 7 means this is 8 and this is 7. 2 here goes 4 and 2. 5 means 3 and 5. This is 3 or 9. It seems to be. So this is 9, 3, 9, 3, 4, 7, and therefore 7 and 4. So I really like this puzzle because it uses one of my favorite tricks, which is 3-cell 15 sums. And I don't know how the 3-cell 15 sum trick would have. I don't know how much the 3-cell 15 sum trick would have worked, but maximum 15, minimum 15, and therefore I could use the entropy trick a lot, which I really like. I don't know if that was built into the design or not, or how many people used it when they were solving this, but I really like it. Did one of my favorite gas puzzles in a long time, and it's from nearly a year ago. I don't know if I took over 8 minutes 30, but I wasn't rushing, I was savoring. Okay, very quiet stream today. So, Panini Press from April 9th, 2023 by Philip Newman. So it's a sandwich puzzle. So the value outside the grid is sandwich clue. It tells you the sum of the digits between 1 and 9 in that row or column. What is up? And thermos. Between the 1 and 9 in that row or column, not including the 1 and 9 themselves. And thermo digits along thermos must strictly increase from the bulb to the tip. Okay. So I can immediately go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's a good demo because those digits will sum to 35 between the 1 and the 9. Now, I am actually going to do my sandwich colouring. Now, I know that I have to have 19 between the 1 and the 9. So none of these can be 1 to 9 because I can't put 9 on this thermo because if I put 9 here, this sum would actually be 0. So none of those are on the thermo. I have to put 1 and 9 at the ends of this row for the 35 clue to work. So this must be a 9 and this must be a 1. Which means this is maximum, I'm going to do it this way, maximum 8, maximum 7, maximum 6, maximum 5, maximum 4, maximum 3. So 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8. This is whatever is not included in the, is not included on the thermo. 19. I think I've got a lot of options there. But all of these are also not on thermos. And all of these, sorry, not in sandwich sum. So all of these. Now, this has to sum to 12? I really don't know. Now, I can tell that these can't be 1 or 9. So this is the 1 and the 9. And this must be the 9, and this must be the 1 because of the thermo. And I can tell that these can't be 1s and 9s. Basically, you can mark anything that is not at the end of a thermo as not able to be a 1 or a 9. Now, I can't make... There is definitely something going on in this column. These, however, have to sum to 5. And they're not 1, 4. So these must be 2 and 3. Because, hey FB, so, and the reason for that is, we know that anything not including the, because of the 45 sum of a row, if you add the digits 1 to 9, you get to 45. If you take the 1 and the 9 away, you're taking away 10, you get to 35. So 35 is the entire row, but in this row I'm aiming for 30. These sum to 30, these sum to 10, so these digits must sum to 5, and I can't make them out of 1, 4, so they must come out of 2, 3. But I'm not sure what that's doing for me. Maximum 8, maximum 7, maximum 6, maximum 3 doesn't seem that powerful. I'm missing a trick. This is 4, 3, and 2 because of the 5 up here. I was looking for a connection between that line, and I missed it completely. So how do I make the 24? I think it's all about the math making the 24. And this is something I've noticed recently. I was talking to someone, and there are people who literally will just look at stuff like this and go, oh, that just means that it's that and that because of the values blah. And it's like, if you can do that, if you are literally just able to cognitively look at it and see it, you go, this is really easy, and you are unable to comprehend that some people just can't do it. And you are always just going, but it just must be. Yeah. And I can't see anything in this column that gives me that information. I can see 9 is in one of... So hang on, 9 is in one of those two, and 1 is in one of those two. But if 9, 1 here would work. But if I put 9 here, I can't put 1 here. These have to be the 1 and the 9. See, this is what I needed to wrap my head around. 9 has to be in one of these two. If I put 9 here and 1 here, I've got a problem. Because the sum is 4, not 24. So if I put the 9 here, I can't put the 1 here because this can't be 24. And I can't put the 1 here because this isn't 24. So the 9 cannot go here. because there's no valid place to put the 1. So the 9 must go here, and that becomes the sum. Now I can't put the 9 here because this can't be 24, so this must be the 1. See, this is the thing. You just had to think about it the right way. It's not about math, and this is where I was wrong. And this is why I was like, hang on, but if this is about the math, I would be wrong. I had to think about the concepts that were in the puzzle, and really beautiful. Thank you, Philip. Beautiful. And now I know from the 45 thing that these sum to 35, those sum to 24, so these have to sum to 11, and that's 6. So, but 1, 2, and 3 is gone. So this is 5 and 4. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what's that doing for me? So this is a quadruple, which is 2, 3, 7, 8. Now, this can't be 8 and this can't be 2. And this can't be 8 and this can't be 2. This also can't be 3. This can't be 3. Ah, this can't be 7. And because this, if this was 7, 8, this would have to be 2, 3, and it can't be. So this can't be 7, 8, it would break that. So this is 2. Which one? Or 8. I'm not sure what you say by or 8. I'm glad I'm not trying to speed solve this because I'm having to wrap my head around stuff that I'm not fully comprehending. The 12 here is going to be incredibly important because, and I'm not sure how, because there's going to be some maximums on this. Because surely I can't put 8 here, can I? Because if I put 8 here, the other two maximum digits I could use would be 2 and 3. So this has to be an 8. Because if I put, well, actually, the maximum I can put here anyway is 6. And then the maximum I can put here is 5. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3, 4, 5, 6. So, but I could put 8 there. But if I put 8 there, I'm still going 8 with 2, 3, and 8 with 2, 3 is higher than 12. So that doesn't work. 8 must be down here, and therefore 8 is there. I can finish row 5. Oh, the 5 looks up, making this 6, 7, 8, and then this is the 5. I'm missing basic Sudoku. I don't know why I'm missing basic Sudoku, but I'm missing basic Sudoku. Probably because I am me. Okay. Now, if this is a 7, this would be 2. Right, if this is a 7, this would have to be 2, 3, because I would need another 5. I'm probably missing something incredibly obvious. Yeah, if this is 7, this would have to be 2, 3 to get to the 12 total, and I can't use 7, 2, 3 because then that would be broken. So this is a 7. But that, so is it this 19 now? But I don't know anything inherent about 19s. Like, it's got to have a high digit on it. So it's got a 7 or an 8 on it. Because if I don't use a high digit. So this is either 7 or 8. Do I need 2 high digits? I don't think so. Like 5, 6, 8 would get me there. I'm really confused. So this is maximum 6, maximum 5, maximum 4. So this is 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I'm just spotting the wrong things. So there must be two high digits on this. There must be two high digits on this because this has a maximum of 6. So because there must be two high digits on this must be 8 and 7. And if this is 8 and 7, because I can't make this a high digit, these are 15. So this is a 4, which means this is 5 and 6, and this is 3 and 2. So this is 3. So there's no 3 up here. So these are 2, 4, 5, 6. So 2, 4, 5, 6, but these have to sum to 12. So the outies, 35 minus 12, I'm terrible at this. 35 minus 12 is 23. These have to sum to 23. So that's a 5. So there's no 5 up here. So this is 2, 4, 4, 6, and that's 2, 4, 6. There's no 4 there. There must be a 4 on this. And this isn't 2. This is 6. So this is 2 and 4. This is 3, which means this is 8 and this is 7. And now I've used all of the clues and I'm down to Sudoku. So 1 is in one of those two. 3 is in one of those two. 5 is in one of those two. And I'm not sure about 6. 2 is in one of those two. That's a 2-7 pair. So 2 and 7. And this is an 8-9 pair. That's a 4. So this is 5, 6, 9. 1 is in one of those two. 2 is in one of those two. 3 is in one of those two. 5 is somewhere. 6 is somewhere. This is a 7-8 pair, so there's no 6, and this is 6, 9. Well, this is the thing with variant Sudoku, though, is it draws you to the variance. 1, 5, 8, 9. There's no 8 in those. There's no 5 in those. 1, 2, 4, 6. There's no 2 there. Ah, okay, yep. 7 makes that 8 and that 7. There's no 6 there because of the 6, 9. These are just 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no 4 there. There's no 3 there. There's no 2 there. So this is 1, 4. So 1 comes out of there. So the 1 comes out of those. 2, 3. 5 comes out of those. 8 comes out of there. So this is a 1, 5, 9 triple, making that a 3. Taking 3 out of there. There's something I'm missing in here. 2 looks down, making that 5, making that 1, making that 2, making that 9, that 5, making that 8 and that 1, making that 9 and that 8. That's not 9. There's no 5 there. Three is in one of those. 4 is in one of those. That's a 4-7 pair. So this is 4 and 7. So this is 1, 4, 2, 1, 6, 4, 2, 3. So these are 3, 9. So 3, 9, 6, 1, 5, 3, 9, 5, 6, 9, and 6. I did really like that puzzle. The deductions in that were absolutely stunning. Like, but one of the things I really liked about this puzzle is the fact that I didn't feel I had to do it under time pressure. Like, the time that it was expecting to be done was 9 minutes. And this drives back to my concept of I really feel that these puzzles aren't designed to be genuinely approachable. Although I think they are, but I think the puzzles are genuinely approachable, but I think they're designed with the concept of being speed solved by experts because, and that is inherently built in by the timer. Um, and I know when I say that, like it just happened. When I say something like that, viewers leave. Um, it's but people don't want to hear it. But I think that is the design concept that is subconsciously probably running through the because they're churning them out really, really quick, and they're doing it in isolation. That there's no, I think it's just the three of them, and the Herculean achievement. There's no complaint here. But a lot of the puzzles are they're tested by three of the best solvers in the world, and they are approachable puzzles mostly, not always. But the timer concept is just inherently meaning that the focus is on what, like, you can tell by the fact that they grab the timers and they are saying what do the times need to be, means that when they're being tested they're being speed solved in order to determine what the time should be to set for experienced solvers to be able to have a reasonable time to solve them in. And if that's your testing focus to determine what a time should be for an expert solver to be able to solve it in, then that's what you're setting for. Um, yeah, they can be used for people to learn constraints. They can be used for people to improve their skills. But as a welcome to Sudoku, they are incredibly uncomfortable. And I know this because I've had so many people who've left the hobby because of them. That line is way too opaque. But normal Sudoku rules apply. Each of the four diagonal blue lines contains the digits 1 to 9 exactly once each. Hopefully it'll be in a situation where I can read it. The other thing is the slants mean that my vision is off because I've got the weird thing with diagonals. That's why sevens are always blurry to me. Yeah, it's a thing. Like if you make a typo, it automatically causes your blood to rush. Any game that has a timer in it, I left one of my favorite games in history was World of Warcraft, and I left World of Warcraft shortly after they added the Mythic Dungeons because I wasn't enjoying the timer concept. It's like I want to go into these things with friends and just spend some time. Like all of my best memories are going into dungeons with friends and spending time exploring them. It's like, what's over there? It's like, no, we just got to barrel for the end as fast as possible. And as soon as we do that, we need to leave. It's like, but there was this really cool room over there. Yeah, don't care. Time is done. It's like, and you're changing the focus of the game. And it's like, it's all about speed, 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 speed. I don't, and it's like, but you could go back and do that. There was all of this bonus content. Don't care about bonus content. The time is done. Ugh. You never, people stopped appreciating anything. And I thought that was terrible. So anyway, going to refresh the cache. Let's give this one a shot. So I am definitely going to have problems with this one because those lines are really freaking with my vision. And that's a me problem. That's not a puzzle problem. So in this box, I cannot put 2 on that line, and I cannot put 2 on that line. So that is just a 2. I could have potentially got that by Sudoku. I don't know. But this is a quadruple now. 1, 3, 6, 7. Now, I can't put 3 on this line, so there's no 3 here. I can't read the middle digit there. I know it's a 6, but I cannot read it. It is completely and utterly invisible to me. I cannot put a 1 on that line. Can't read that the middle digit there either. It's invisible. There's no 3 there, so this is a 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no 1 there, so this is a 1. No clue. So this is a 6, 7 pair. I have spoken to Sven, but it's not a priority for him. And if people would like reach out, I said I've spoken to a bunch of people. I spoke to about a dozen people in one of my in a chat channel uh, uh, about the concept of so many people don't like the timer. And even if you turn the timer off, it pops up at the end. I said, give people an option to remove that. They would be happier. And it's like, it's not a priority. I think if a lot of people reached out to him, there would be potentially some movement on that. So 4 and 5 must be on the line down here, which means I can't by Sudoku, which means I cannot put 4 and 5 on the line here. So 5 is on here. This is not helping me. Like, this is fully roped. At least it is in these central bands. There's probably full roping on this, but I'm not sure how to use it. Like 3 is not up here. 3 is not up here. So 3 is in here. So 3 is down here. But 3... Well, 3 can't be on the line here or here. So 3 must be on the line here. So that's a 3. These can't be 1, 2, 3. These can't be 1, 2, 3. These are 1, 2, 3. And the 2 makes that the 1 and that the 2. Right, that's the way to look at this. And I can't put 6... Right. So these can't be 1, 2, 3. These can't be 1, 2, 3. So those are 1, 2, 3. And that's not 1. So that's 2. And this is 1. That's 1 and that's 3. Right. So how do I... So 5, 6 isn't there. Actually, 9 is in one of those two because I can't put 9 here because of that. I can't put 9 here because of that. So 9 is in one of those two, which I could have got by Sudoku if I'd looked at these nodes. This is the 4th puzzle I've looked at today that is migraine inducing because of that angle, these angled lines. So 6 is down here as well. But can this be 4, 5, 6? Does it have to be 4, 5, 6? Oh, this 6 is looking down, making that 7 and that 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 go into those. There's no 9 there. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 goes into there. There's no 4 there. So this is fully roped. So this is 4, 5, 7. And this is 6, 8, 9. There's no 6 there. But this is 6, 3, 4. So this is a quadruple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's no 9 there. There's no 5 there. There's no 8 there. This is 7, 9. So 7 comes out of there. This is 5, 8. So this is 7, 9. And I've also got a quad here, which I can see I can do some things with, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. There's no 5 down here. There's no 8 down here. So this is 4, 6. So 4, 6 come out of here. This is 5, 8, which takes 5 out of there and 8 out of there. But the 4 looks up making that the 7, which takes 7 out of those. So this would be a 6, 9 pair. So this is the 6. This is the 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 go into those. There's no 5 there. 4, 6. So 7 is in one of those two for this 5, 7, 8 triple. So that's 8. There's no 8 there. And that 5, 7 makes that the 8 and that the 5. These are 1 and 7. And the 1 makes that the 7 and that the 1, which means there's no 7 there. This is the 6. I can take 6 out of those. There's no 6 there. There's no 5 there. This is a 5, 6 pair. Hey, Chip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 go into those. So that's 7 and that's 8. That turns around saying that's 4, that's 5, that's 7. Sorry, I think my eyes are actually starting to water. This is a 3. 4, 6, 9. There's no 9 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are 1 and 2. And the 1 there is making this 2 and this 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 7 and 8. So 8 and 7. 4 is not in either of those. So this is 6, 9, 4, 4, 6. 9 looks like making this 8 and 9. The fact that the line color is exactly the same color as the digits is not helping. If it had been less opaque and a different color, this puzzle may have not been like, and that's a deliberate choice. 2, 8, I think. So this is 8 and 2. 3, 4. So 4 and 3. 1, 2, 3, and 7. So 7 and 3. 1, 4. So 4 and 1. 6, 9. So 9 and 6. 8 and 9. 5 and 4. So 7 and 5. So completed. So the time that was expected for that, by the way, was 6 minutes. Considering there are invisible digits, because when you pencil mark, stuff just disappears. Rough. Sorry. I think I actually need to go and wipe my eyes for a bit. So I am actually going to disappear for a couple of minutes. I'm sorry to do that so early in the stream, but I need to get that puzzle off my The next puzzle actually has a URL in the title. It's all about supporting Sven, and I'm all about supporting Sven. But I'm just going to put myself in Be Right Bat mode, and I will be right back. It's not the end of the broadcast, though, Butterfly. Okay, so I've washed out my eyes. I didn't use my eye drops because then I couldn't see anything for an hour, and that would be useless for a stream. They're kind of screaming for it, but I can't use them. Okay. Yeah, I deliberately chose the test pattern image. I went and I looked for a good one. Okay. Yeah, gaming issues. I've been having a lot of fun with Last Epoch over on BremSter Games. Definitely facing some issues because I've never played it before, and all of the experts in like with any game are turning around and saying, "Oh, this is beginner stuff." It's like it's beginner stuff if you know the answer. It's like the same issue we face with puzzles. It's like experts know the tricks, and therefore they assume everyone does. Okay, so this is more thermo, digits must strictly increase. So I am going to refresh the cache, which I have found I should do after I disable the timer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, okay, let's just do this. Maximum 9, maximum 8, maximum 7, maximum 6, maximum 5, maximum 4, maximum 3. So 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9. But if this is maximum 5, this is maximum 4, this is maximum 3. So 2, 3, 3, 4, which means this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think. Oh, the test pattern was used the same here. Um, so 9 isn't in any of those cells. So 9 is in one of those. 1 is right there. 2, 8, 9. Well, there's no 8 there. There's no 9 there. Not sure. Do I want to do the same here? Maximum, max 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So 8, maximum 7, maximum 6, maximum 5, maximum 4, maximum 3, maximum 2. But this is maximum 3. So this is a 1, 2 pair. So this is a 2, 3 pair. So this must be 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Which means 8 is in one of those two. Something has gone very wrong in my head. 8 is in one of those two. Something has gone very wrong in my head. 1 is in one of those two. This is maximum 9. This is maximum 7. Maximum 6. Maximum 5. So this is 1 or 2. Because it can't be 3 or 4. And this is just 4. Because it can't be 1, 2, or 3. So this is 5, 6, 7, and 9. Oh, there's no 8 there. So that's an 8. This is the 2. This is the 9. And the 2 means that's the 3 and that's the 2. I wish I could make chat bigger in YouTube without making everything bigger. The chat is so small. Hey, Chris. Okay. So. Four is in one of those two. That's just a 7. This triple. 4, 5, 6. So this is the 4. Man, chat is so small. Oh, right. Of course. It was the same. Yeah, if this was a 2, I couldn't put 2 in either of those. This has to be the 1, this has to be the 2. And this is the same here. This being a 3 means this is the 4 and this is the 3. And this being the 2 means this has to be the 3 and this is the 2. That's very, very clear and obvious and just... Thank you. Okay. 1 is in one of those two, which means 1 is right there, which means this is a 2. And I've now done all the thermos. This is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's no 6 there. There's no 5 there. There's no 7 there. Okay. Four is in one of those two. This is a 2-4 pair. So this is 2, this is 4. Again, I'm not sure. Row 6, column 9 restricted. Doesn't look like it. Like, there's nothing about that column that's screaming restriction, but okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 3 or 9. You'd expect kind of more. Like, I was about to look at this quadruple. 1, 3, 4, 5. So this is 3 or 5. This triple, 3, 6, 9. So this is a 3. So this is a 5. This is a 6, 9. The 5 makes that 7, which makes that 6, which makes that 9, which makes that 6, which makes that 5. These are 1, 3, 4. That's a 5 now. 6 is in one of those two, but the 5 makes that 6, so that's not 6, that's 6, that's 5. This is a pair, and I have to put an 8 in one of them, so that's 8, that's 1. This is 7 and 9, and the 7 makes that 9, and that's 7. These are 7 and 8. 3, 5, 6. So 5 goes in the middle because I've already got 5s in column 4 and column 6. And the 3 looks down, making that 6 and that 3. It's finding the weak points when you're not looking for advanced Sudoku techniques, which is always a bit tricky. This is a triple. 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, that's an obvious weak point. I should have seen a lot faster. So that means that's not the 1, that's the 1. So this is a triple. 5, 7, 8. There's no 5 there. There's no 7 or 5 there. That's the 8. So that's 7 and 5. And these are down to pairs. 7 and 9 again. So 9, 7, which means 8 and 7. Yeah, this is good flow. 4, 6, 8. There's no 4 or 6 there. That's the 8. This is a 4, 6. And I've got a 6 right in the middle of the grid. Assuming, like normal, that I have not made a terrible error. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 8. So 4 and 8 and not 8. 2 and 3, which means 3 and 2, which means 9 and not 3. So this is 4, therefore 1 and 3 and 4. And over here, I better put in a 2 and a 3. Yeah, that was a good one. Like that one. So people who are trying to follow along, the expected hat time on that one was 8 minutes. So yeah, I like that one. I did miss the incredibly well telegraphed thermo trick. Thank you for that one. Thank you, chat. I think it was Rat Thinks. Symmetric placement. Oh dear. This is going to be a tricky one. And this is a puzzle from the 12th of April, 2023. I keep wanting to say this year because time stopped passing, right? Symmetric placement. So region sum lines, which is within each region, all of the existences of that line within the region have contribute to the sum. So every cell on this line within a region adds to the sum of the line within that region. So those two have the same sum as those three, have the same sum as those two. We also have crop key pairs, which is cells separated by a white dot must be consecutive, cells separated by a black dot must be in a ratio of 2 to 1, no negative constraint. So it's perfectly fine for other cells to be consecutive or in a 2 to 1 ratio. I am going to remove the timer and then refresh my cache. This does not look like a gas, but it probably is. So there's a couple of things you can do. This is a 2, 4 because of the black crop key dot relationship. 2 and 4 must be on this dot, so this must be a 3, 6. So we know the sum of this is 9. Now, this is either 1, 2, 4, which means this is a 7, or if this was 2, 4, 8, this would be a problem. So this is 1, 2, 4, and this is a 7. These are two consecutive dots that sum to 7, so digits that sum to 7, so they are 3 and 4. Now, this is a 2 or a 4, and it's a 4, so these are 2 and 8, and the 2 here makes this 8, which makes this 2. There is no 2 or 4 on this dot, so it's 3, 6. So we know this is a 9. These are 3 consecutive digits that sum to 9. This is actually pretty gassy so far. The 4 looks up making this the 1 and this the 4. The 3 looks up making this the 6 and this the 3. 8 is consecutive with 7 or 9. If this was a 9, this would have to be a 10. So we go 7 and 6. Can't put a 1 on this. Can't put a 1 in there. So 1 is in here. So this can't be a... This is where I feel there's math coming into play that I'm not very good at. Because yeah, 7 in box 2 is done. So this is more restricted. 4, 5, no, not 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 5, 8, 9. And that's not 8. Actually, this matters because these are 1, 3, 4, 5, 1, 5, 9. And that can't be a 1 because that can't be a 2. So this is a 1. If this is 5, this is 6. And if this is 9, this is 8. And this can't be 6. This is 8 and 9. So the sum of this is 17. So what do I have to put on this? If this is 1, 2, it doesn't work. If it's 2, 4, it doesn't work. If it's 3, 6, so if this is 3, 6, that's 9, and this would have to be 8. And if it's 4, 8, so if it's 4, 8, that's 12, and this is a 5. So there must be an 8 in one of those two. If this is 5, this can't be 5 because this can't be 4 or 6. This is 8, which means these have to sum to 9. So they are 3 and 6. This is now 7 or 9. It's 9. And therefore this is 8. This is way more gassy than it feels like. 8 is in one of those. This is a 5. This is a 9. This is a triple, which is 1, 3, 5. There's no 1 or 3 there. That's the 5. This is a 1, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9 go into those. This is a lot of fun. 1 and 3 go in. So these 5, 7 go into those. So if this is 5, this would be 1, 4. And it would have to be 1 and 4. If it's 7, it couldn't be 1, 6. It could be 2, 5. It couldn't be 3, 4. So these are the only possibilities, I think. I'm still missing stuff. This has felt important for a while, but I'm not sure how it's going to work. This can't be 1, 2. Hang on, this has to be 2, 3. because it can't be 1, 2, because I can't put 1 or 2 in that cell. If it's, I know it's 2, 3, or 3, there must be a 3 on this, because if it's 4, 5, I'm already at 9, and this would have to be a 0. So this is 2, 3, or 3, 4. So this is a 3, and this is a 2 or a 4. And if this is 2, 3, this is a 4. And if this is 4, 3, this is a 2. So I've got a 2, 4 pair in the column. So this is a 1 or an 8. That's bonkers. And if this is 1 or 8, summing to 9, this is 1 or 8. That is insanely gorgeous. I love that. That is my favorite part of any puzzle I've seen so far today. These are 2, 5, 9. Well, this isn't a 2, and it's not 5 because I can't use 1, 4. So this is the 9, which means this is the 5, this is the 2, this is the 9. These have to sum to 9, which means they have to have a low digit on it. They're either 1, 8, 2, 7 is not possible, 3, 6, and 4, 5 is not possible. So this is 1, 8, and the 8 tells me that this is the 1, this is the 8. So these are 6 and 7. Has this just fallen into Sudoku? I don't understand. This is 7. This is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. There's no 9. There's no 6 at the top. So this is 5, 9, 6, which means this is 3 and 6. This is a triple. 5, 6, 9. There's no 9 or 6 there. This is the 5. This is a 6, 9. So this is a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But the 3, 4 makes this the 1 and this the 4, which means this is the 2, this is the 4, which means this is the 8 and this is the 1. These are 1 and 8, and I know the order, 1 and 8. These are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But is there something forced onto this that I've missed? There must be a 5 in one of those two. So 5 is in one of those two cells. Two is in one of those. This is a 2, 4 pair, isn't it? This is just a 2, 4 pair. So this is a 5, 7 pair. And this is 1, 3, 4, 5, 1, 6. And the 6 makes this the 1 and this the 6, which means this is the 5, which means this is 2 and 7, which means this is the 5. The 2 means this is the 3 and this is the 2. This is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6. But the 5 makes that the 7 and that the 5. The 6 looks up making that the 9 and that the 6. The 3 makes that the 4 and that the 3. That, another really nice resolution. Speed solving this would, yeah, I just wouldn't enjoy it. This is a 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 9. There's no 4 there. There's no 9 there. There's no 9 there. That's the 9. So this is a pair. 7 and 8. And I've got a 7 in column 8 already. This 6, of course, makes that 7 and that 6. The 7 makes that 4 and that 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 5 in column 9, so 2, 5. The 2 looks up making 4 and 2. I've got to put a 3 and a 4. Beautiful. That was a stunningly good puzzle. If you can approach these puzzles with the concept of removing the timer, I really think these puzzles get elevated. For people who are curious, the expected solve time on that was 9 minutes. I don't know how long I took. Right. I will see how I go on this one. The topmost 2 digits in each column, or the leftmost 2 digits in each row, are A and B. The clues immediately adjacent to the grid tell you the sum of A plus B. Wait a minute. So the topmost 2 digits in each column. So is that referring to those 2 digits or those 2 digits? Because these are the topmost 2 digits in... So I'm assuming it means these two. So these 2 digits are the topmost 2 digits. So the topmost 2 digits in each column, those, and the leftmost 2 digits in each row are those. So these are A and B in the column. The clues immediately adjacent to the grid tell you the sum of A plus B. Okay. For the clues slightly further away from the grid, take the sum of the 8th and B... Oh, good God. So this is basically Psycho Killer Gas. For the clues slightly further away, so it's a Psycho reference thing. For the clues slightly further away from the grid, take the sum of the 8th and Bth digits in that row or column, counting left to right or top to bottom. For instance, if A and B in the 9th column were 4 and 5, then the sum of the 4th digit and the 5th digit would be 10. Why 10? Can someone explain this to me? Because 4 and 5 doesn't work, because don't these need to sum to that digit? A and B, the topmost, the clues immediately adjacent to the grid. So how could, these can't be 4 and 5, because then they'd have to sum to 10, not 9. So this puzzle is broken. Or is the example wrong? And if the example was wrong, why wouldn't you correct it? So this is either... So is this deliberately wrong? Because this stuff is correctable. But this has been solved by 7,000 people. If this has been solved by 7,000 people, surely someone pointed out an error. So there's... And it would have been corrected. So the example is intentionally wrong. So Clover is deliberately giving people a wrong example to confuse them? Okay, so let's approach this as someone who's never solved a puzzle like this before. Because no, If A and B in the ninth column were 4 and 5, then the sum of the fourth and fifth digit in from the top of that column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, would be 10. So the sum of those would be 10. It's giving a very specific example. So the sum of those two digits would be 10 in this situation. So these sum to that digit. So these have to sum to 9. These have to sum to 3, which isn't possible. Because the example given says that those sum to 9, so these have to sum to 10. That's the example given. This puzzle's broken. Or so they're deliberately trying to make it that people who are, so this is Clover deliberately trying to make it that people who are coming to the hobby fresh cannot. Why would you put the example the other way around? And if it was an error, why wouldn't you fix it? I did it the wrong way round. Because it's fixable. This stuff is fixable. Sorry, I'm not going to give this puzzle any credence. Moving on to the next one. It might be a beautiful puzzle, but it does not deserve any airtime. Okay, Homemaker by Bill Murphy. I'm just going to put a note in here. Puzzle has deliberate or has error that was not fixed. Okay. I love that sort of puzzle. I really do. But it does not deserve airtime. If it had been fixed, it deserves airtime. And while I'm getting mine from a sheet, I know Sarah L, who updates the sheet, would absolutely have fixed it. So I don't know. Maybe there's an error in translation or something. I don't know. And that went through testing. And the reason it would have not got through testing is because people speed solve. They go, oh, I understand. And they don't actually pay attention. It happens all the time. It's like, I've speed solved. I've got a correct answer. Ta-da! It's like, slow down. Pay attention. If you do your job like that, you should lose your job. Absolutely. If I did my job like that, I would be terrible at it. You've got to pay attention to what you're doing. Chris, I created Psycho Killer. I don't expect them to appeal to everyone. There's highlighting tricks you can do with Psycho Killer. I don't expect Psycho Killer to be for everyone. The problem I had with that was not the indexing. I think the indexing would have been fantastic. The problem is the example given was exactly wrong. Okay, so this is just a normal Sudoku. And the thing I have with these is these don't get passed through any of my testing or any of the normal stuff that I do to make sure that it is like, if that had been submitted to my channel, I would have fixed the example. But these things just get put in raw. And it just means that nothing gets, the rules weren't confusing. I understood exactly what was going on. It's just the example gave exactly the reverse of what was going on in the puzzle. So Rules say one thing, example then gives you something exactly wrong, exactly the opposite. So which is it? Except 7 is there, so that is 9. One is in one of those two. I expect the puzzle would have been stunning, like they normally are, except it just felt like a deliberate attempt. Fix your errors. But it should have been caught in testing. That's what testing is for. I tell my testers all the time, and I've actually got angry at testers who pass through puzzles. 3, 4, 5. I've actually got angry, like, and spoken to testers who've passed through puzzles to me, who um, have submitted things like at testing stage, like submitting a puzzle. It's like, oh, I've just created this and I want people to have a look at the puzzle. I will put in thing of like, your rules are wrong. It's like, I haven't done the rules yet. Then your puzzle's not ready for testing. Because if people turn around and say, yeah, your puzzle's great, and then you put the rules in and you make a mistake in the rules, people haven't tested that. And you've got no testing on the final presentation of your puzzle. Before you put your puzzle into testing to your testers, try and make sure it is in the final form that you want to submit to people. Because if you then modify your puzzle again and make an error, you haven't tested it. It's why when you do code development, you do your initial code, you test it, you then do your initial code and test it. You don't like modify your code and then deploy straight to prod. And that's what people are doing with puzzles. They're doing beta, or they're doing alpha versions of their puzzles. They're then sending it out for alpha testing. They're then doing the beta version of their puzzle and pushing it straight to prod. And it's like, where was your beta testing? I didn't bother doing any because alpha testing was good. Any developer will just go, but you don't do that. But those same people do it with puzzles all the time. Um, row 3 and 9, row 9 was the sum to get position. Yeah. Yeah, testing in production. It's just crazy to me what is go. Yeah, I do testing for my job, and it's just breaking my brain what people do with puzzles. And it's like, oh, it's just because it's a hobby. People code for a hobby. That doesn't mean that any of this is good. 1 and 3. So this is 1, this is 3. And I hate being the person who's constantly like seen as the whinger. But how do we make the quality of something that we're giving to people better if someone doesn't say stop doing bad things? 3, 6, 7. There's no 7 there, so that's the 7. I like, do I give up? Like, do I just accept that everyone in the puzzle community doesn't give a damn about being given wrong information? 4. So in here, 1 is in one of those two. 2, 6. 6 is in one of those two. That doesn't seem to be doing much for me. This is just a 7. So this is a triple. 4, 5, 6. Without that being a 4. So if this is 4, 5, 6, that's not the 6. This is the 6. This is the 8. This is the 1. This is the 2. So this is a 3, which means that's a 5 and that's not a 5. These are 4, 6, and 7. There's no 4 or 7 there, so that's the 6. 1 to 5. I mean, it's just exhausting. I it's I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to be the asshole that people get just feel like, oh, I don't want to deal with Bremster. He's always just so meh about puzzles. I'm not meh about puzzles. I'm meh about the experience that people get with puzzles because it just seems that it's like I've spent, and you see it, you see people turn around and say, oh, I spent 60 hours or 40 hours or 30 hours making this puzzle. And now that I've made this puzzle, I'm just going to spend zero effort making sure that it's good for people to see. It's like, but why would you do that? Like, I've done my bit. Now it's time for the solver to figure out what I meant is crazy. It, honestly, for I would say half of my puzzles, maybe a bit less, it takes me, except I've got into a routine of doing it and everything, but I spend at least 30 minutes on every puzzle after I've created it and done my logic solve test before I send it to testers. I do all of the cosmetics, I check all of the cosmetics, I check all of the rules, I make sure that the links are good, all of that sort of stuff. There's two in one of those. Okay, what is this quadruple? Two is in one of those. Three is in one of those. Six is in one of those. Seven is in one of those. That does not feel that good, does it? Three, six, two, three, two, seven, six, seven. Highlight all of those. Remove the corner marks. Great. That does not feel. So that gave me a 3, 6 pair. So that's a two, a seven, a six, and a three, and a six, and a three. Cool. Um, Yeah, I'm really willing to give that one a look off camera. I'd love to, but it just did not feel like that puzzle with the deserved airtime. Um, so this is a quadruple. One, two, three. There's a seven in one of those. So that's a seven. This is a five. This is a four. This is a six. This is a five. This is a four. There you go. That was nice. This is a six. This is a five. And these are two and six. So two, six, nine. That's not five. This is five. And this right here is an eight. The nine makes that four and that nine. This has been a really nice classic, by the way. I know I've spent the entire time talking about something else, but two and four. That was a really nice puzzle. I liked that classic. This is the sort of classic I love, and I've said, I think I said in the, you wouldn't have seen it yet, but Bill recently did a pair of classics which I recorded for the next gas video I'll release, and I said if newspapers got classics of this quality, people wouldn't be like, oh, Sudoku is something that it's like it's a cool thing to do on a coffee break. People would be actively looking forward to the Sudoku that comes forward. It's not like, oh, I might do the New York Times Sudoku today. It would be like, when is the New York Times Sudoku coming out today? It would change that perspective because they would be getting puzzles that were actively engaging rather than, oh, I'm just hunting for digits. Getting a good Sudoku setter into their puzzle team, and apparently their puzzle team is like 20 people, would be just amazing for them. But yeah, um, I have no idea how long I took on that puzzle, but it was supposed to be done in 5.5 minutes, and I can see why. I wasn't really focusing on the puzzle. Doing numbers in German is probably about the only thing I remember from German. I hate that I come across as negative, but what I'm really trying to do is just make sure that people who are engaging with puzzles are engaging with the puzzles. They're not struggling with stuff that they shouldn't struggle with. The logic of the puzzle should be what you're struggling with. I never want someone to come in and going, what I never want what happened there to be an issue. It's like, hang on a minute, this example doesn't make sense, therefore I'm disengaging. The problem with that example was, if it had been, if the numbers at the top of the column 8 were blah and blah, then this would mean this, would have been fine, because you're giving an example that's not relevant to the puzzle. But what that said was, if these were the two digits, these would have to get placed, which seemed to be an example from the puzzle. And it actually meant that the clues given in the puzzle were wrong, which meant that people were starting to think, hang on, that means that the clues mean something different to what the rules explained. Either that, or I'm not understanding the example, and therefore people just feel confused and frustrated on something that is actually quite tricky. Indexing is tricky, so don't throw confusion at them. And I understand Psycho Killer is a nightmare for people. People who love indexing love Psycho Killer. They're a pain in the ass to set. Like, they are fucking terrible to set. And sorry about swearing on this channel. But honestly, sitting down to set a Psycho Killer puzzle, I have no idea how a Psycho Killer was the first puzzle I set, ever. It was just absolute luck on my part, because they are astonishingly hard to set. Um, but I'm still kind of proud of them, because there is such beautiful logic you can do with them. But that's so hard. But once you understand them, they're actually quite simple. But you need to get people over that hurdle. And I understand that hurdle, and that hurdle's not for everyone. It's like any tricky hobby. Rock climbing. Until you've done like your first 10 hours of rock climbing, it's like, I don't want to do this. And you need a basic level of fitness. And if you don't have it, you're never going to get there. And I'm not saying, well, everyone should do rock climbing. Psycho Killer's not for everyone. But if I'd thrown an example into Psycho Killer that was wrong, no one should engage with them. So, yeah. Okay. Let's have a look at this one. So, Fortress. I'm also bad at Fortress, by the way. I really struggle with Fortress. But digits in grey cells must be greater than the orthogonally adjacent white cells. So this cell is going to be lower than this, is the important fact with Fortress. Context is incredibly vital, and I'm really sorry I'm coming across as negative here. I'm very, very positive about these puzzles. There's a reason I am spending literally hours a week doing the gas puzzles, because I think they are an excellent thing in the community and they should be presented. If I didn't feel that, I wouldn't be doing this. I would have thrown it away by now. These are important. Anyway, so any grey cell must be larger than adjacent white cells, and quadruples, one of my favorite constraints, which basically is digits in white circles must be placed, however they phrased it. Digits in corner circles must appear in the surrounding 4 cells in some order. And that's fine, because 4 digits are given in each circle. So, okay. We know that these are going to be 6 and 8 because we have to put those in. So these are the odd digits, but these have to be lower than 4 and they can't be 2. So these are 1 and 3. So these are 5, 7 and 9, which works for this no problem, except we can't put 5 or 7 into there because of the quadruple. So this is the 9 and we can take 9 out of those. Okay. Now, this is wherever the 8 goes, the 7 is going to go next to it, but I don't have that yet. I may if I think about it. But these are now 4 and 6. There's almost certainly a weird quadruple thing happening, because 8 has to go into one of those two. But 8 has to go into one of those two, because 8 is in this quadruple, but it can't be in those. So if I put 8 here, there's no 8 around this quadruple. So this is the 8. These are 5, 6, and 7. Can't put 6 here because 6 is around here. These are 4, 6, 8, and 9. So this is 5 or 7. Not grokking it yet. 8 is in one of those two. So this is 3, no, not 3, 6, 8, and 9, and there's no 8 there. And there's no 6 there, and there's no 8 there. This is just the 9. So this is the 6, and this is the 8. That's kind of cool. These are not 5, 7, so this is 6 and 8. So I can do more with the quadruples because 5, 7, 8, 9, there's no 8 there, there's no 9 there, there's no 9 there, that's the 9. So these are 5, 7, 8. This is a 5, 7, 8 triple. So the 5, 7 pair means that's the 8, that's not the 8. Can I do more than that? I'm going to hold off the fortress as much as I possibly can because it's fortress. It possibly screams Fistamafel, but I am not going there unless I desperately have to, Chip. I mean, there's been definitely a situation of possibly wanting to do some fun stuff. It's like, what is the hardest possible way to solve easy puzzles? Like that would definitely, like, stupid solving would be a really fun thing to explore. But I feel that that's kind of what I do every day anyway. So why repeat what I normally do? Okay, there's definitely going to be fortress things going on, and I have no idea what that's going to be, what that's going to look like. Because these are just 1, 2, 3, 4, aren't they? Yeah. So all of the fortress here is just completely in this corner is just meaningless. I can't put 1 in any of those cells. So this is the 1. Now, this is 359. If I put 3 here, those both need to be lower than 3. And I can't do that because they'd be 1 and 2, and that would be a problem. So that's not the 3. This is a 5, 9, and 3 is in one of those. But if the 3 was here, this would have to be a 1 or a 2, and I can't do that. That's not the 3. This is the 3. See, I'm using fortress. No, 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 no. This is not 1 or 3. I still struggle with that serum, Chip. Like, I understand it's a cool thing, but wow. Um, if this is 5, these would be 2 and 4. This would be 2, this would be 4. I think that's okay. What am I missing? It's going to be a fortress trick. It's going to be a fortress trick. Oh, see this 3? Those are a 1, 2. So if those are a 1, 2, these are 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, 4, 5, 6, 7 are in those. This can't be a 7 because it has to be lower than that. So 7 is in one of those two. So that's a 5, which takes 5 out of those. This is a 6, 7 pair, which makes this a 4 and this a 5. That's nifty. 4 is in one of those two, which means 4 is in one of those two, which means 4 is in here and in here, which means 4 is not here and not here, which means 4 is in one of those two and not in one of those two. There you go. I don't think I'm being clever about this. 9 is not there or there. These are from 1, 2, 3. That's not 3. So that means there's a 6 over here, doesn't it? But so this is from 1, 2, 3, 4. This is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not helping me. 7 is up here by Sudoku. The 5-7 pair is knocking 7 out of there. 7 is up here, which means this is the 5. Ah, this is the 7, this is the 6. Much easier Sudoku, that is. Has it done much? Five is down here. Eight is in one of those two. Row 3, column 1. That is lower than 3. That's a 6. That's a 2. That's incredibly important. This is a 4-7 pair, and I know the order. Thank you, Mixo. Wasn't ignoring you, just wasn't paying attention to anything that you'd said. Bye, Chip. Have a good one. So there's no 2 there. 6 looks down, making that the 8 and that the 6. The 8 looks across, taking 8 out of those. The 6 comes out of those. Now, I've still got 1, 2, 3 to play with. Now, I've got to put a 7 in one of these. Yeah, Fortress is definitely a kryptonite of mine. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 because it needs to be lower than 6 and it can't be 5. So I've got a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4. So 7 is in one of those two. Which means 7 is down here. 7 is in one of those two. Another look. Right. If this was a 5, I might have a Fortress problem. So that's 9 and that's 5. Which means that's 7 and that's 5. Which means this is the 8 and this is the 6. Which means this is not the 8 and I can put the 8 in. This is not the 6 and I can put the 6 in. This is very, very clever. This is the 6 because of the quadruple. And I've almost completed the quadruples now. In fact, I have completed the quadruples now. So this is from 1, 2, 3 because it has to be lower than 6 and it can't be 4 or 5. What is up? I wish I could get rid of whatever this stupid hay fever symptom was. It's been bugging me for weeks now. This is 1, 2, 3 because it's 1, 2, 3 or 7 and the 7 is up here. So this is a 1, 2, 3 triple. So 1, 2, 3, this is just a 4. Which means this is not the 4, this is the 4. 4 is in one of those two. The pencil mark of the 7 can be narrowed down. Right. See this 5? If this was a 7 and this was a 5, I would be defeating the fortress. I would be Maginot-ing that line. This 7 makes this a 6, which means I've already got a 6. It doesn't make this a 4-6 pair. Seven is in one of those two. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1, 2, 3. This isn't a 4 anymore. So this is a 1, 2, 3. This is a known triple. 1, 3, 9. There's no 3 there. So that's not a 5. This is a 5. There's no 9 there. So what are these? 2, 7, and 7 is not smaller than 6. So that's the 2, that's the 7. Takes 2 out of there, but it means that's the 7. The 2, of course, makes this the 4. Which means this is a 4. So this is 1, 2, or 9, and it's one, not 1 or 2. So this is the 9, this is the 1, this is the 3, this is the 9, this is the 2, this is the 1. There is no 1 here. But the 3 means this is the 1, and this is 2, 3, 8. There's no 2, 3 here, so this is the 8, and this is a 2 or a 3. There's no 1 here, this is a 2 or a 3. I'm trying to pay attention to Fortress, but I'm still kind of messing it up. This is a 7 because of quadruple. How did I miss the quadruple for so long? Because I'm focusing on the wrong thing. Switching backwards and forwards. You kind of have to do it all the time, and I'm glad I'm not trying to do it under a rush. There is no 4 there. There's no 2 there. This gives me a 1, 3 pair in the column. Got to put a 9 in this column. So these are 1, 2, 3, and 9. There's no 4 there, that's a 4. There's no 7 there, that's a 7. So this is a triple. 2, 5, 6. So that's the 2, and I take 2 out of those. The 5, 6 is resolved, so that's the 6 and that's the 5. Now this row. 3, 9. Now that may not be resolved, but the 3, 9 makes that the 1 and that the 2, which makes that the 3 and that the 1. No 3. More importantly, no 1. So that's the 1, that's the 3, that's the 2. No 2. 1, 3 means that's the 2 and that's the 3. These are 1, 5, 9. There's no 9 in those, so that's the 9, 1 and 5. The 9 looks up making 3 and 9, 8. The 2 here means 3 and 2, which means 1 and 3. That was stunning. I loved that puzzle. Took me a very long time. Like, the expected time was 8 minutes, and I know it took me probably double that. And I'm really... I don't know if I should apologize about the time I'm taking on these puzzles. But I'm really enjoying just... I enjoy savoring the puzzles. There was that one, like, which just... I would love to revisit it. Like, I don't know what to do about it. Maybe I'll come back to it next time I do a stream if I can, or I'll do something about it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I mean, I admit I was really perturbed when I got the Discord message from someone who I have since blocked, which was basically that I am ruining the spirit of the Sudoku by disabling the timer, because I was these puzzles are designed, or the important part of these puzzles and watching other solvers is the spirit of being able to prove that you're better than them. To which my response was, congratulations, you're better. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm also happy. I know there's been a few questions recently about the YouTube channel membership and everything. If people have questions about that sort of stuff, please feel free to ask me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions about any of the stuff that's going on. There is, and people can happily do that. That's not what I enjoy and not what I want to do. I want to enjoy the puzzles. I'm not sure that's true, Chris. I think the point of the genuinely approachable Sudoku is speed solving for experts, but they're still good puzzles. They are really good puzzles. Anyway, Killer Sudoku by Clover. Killer Sudoku is definitely my favorite constraint. The more I keep coming back to it, the more I just love Killer. So digits in cages must sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage, and they cannot sum. They cannot repeat. I am going to restart to refresh my cache. So minimum digits you can put into a cage are 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 sum to 6. Now down here, and I explained this a lot recently because I do... David, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. Um, thank you. Um, anyway, I'm distracted. What I want to explain, and I've been explaining this a lot in videos, and I've had a few people who said, "Oh, I've never really understood the reason why people do this." Is the minimum digits you can? Whoops, I am in now in the wrong mode. The minimum digits you can put into a cage are 1, 2, 3, but you need to, which is 6, and in order to increase from 6 to 7, I need to increase one of those digits by 1, and if I increase either the 1 or the 2, I will get a duplicate. So I can't do that. The digit you must increase is the 3 and you get to a 4. And if you understand the underlying concepts of that, it allows you to play at the extreme ends of cages without having to do quite as much math. Now, I still struggle with the math, but the reason why people just go, oh, 7 is 1, 2, 4 is that you need to play at the extremes. Now, you could do it by elimination or anything, but understanding more of the underlying concepts. And it's the reason why 23 is 6, 8, 9, because 24 is 7, 8, 9. The absolute maximum digits, you have to reduce one of those digits by 1 without causing a duplicate. And you can just sort of play around with those. I don't know if it's over explaining, but for people who've never seen it before, I think it's useful. Of course, what I do now, I don't know. I'm lost. Um, so where am I going now? Because I'm just treating these as normal puzzles and like completely out of my gourd. So a 21 cage doesn't need a 9. A 9 cage doesn't need a 1. But could this be 2? This can't be 2, 3, 4. So the reason this can't be 2, 3, 4 is if this was a 2, 3, 4. So I must put a 1 in this 9 cage is the important thing. Because if I do not put a 1 in this 9 cage, it becomes the minimum digits without a 1, which is 2, 3, 4. But if I put 2 or any 2 of 2, 3, 4 in here, this becomes broken because I need 2 of 2, 3, 4 here. So these would both have to be 3, so it doesn't work. So there is a 1 in this cage, but because there's a 1 in the 7 cage, this is a 1, which takes 1 out of those and makes that a 1. Now these have to sum to 8 without using 1, 2, or 4. So I can't use 1, 7. I can't use 2, 6. I can use, no, hang on. 8. I can use 3, 5. And then that's what it is. Ratfinks, don't do either. How's that? Um, my preference would probably be Patreon. You would probably get more out of YouTube. I really don't care. Don't do either. If you are struggling, don't do either. That is an absolute preference of mine, please. Um, so these are 6, 7, 8, and 9, but there's going to be a restriction on those, and I'm not sure what it is yet. I can probably repeat this logic up here somewhere. If you already do Patreon, then don't change. Um, the whole point of the YouTube membership is YouTube has really been pushing for it. And they finally offered a feature that I thought was like, people might get some pleasure out of that, which is I often post my videos up to a week in advance, and I could actually schedule them not to go from private to public, but to go from members only to public. So I could do members see them in advance. Well, thank you, Ratfinks. Thank you for the donation. And Chris. Um, wow. So I could make it that members went from um, uh, members could see my videos when I posted them early, but they could go from members only to public. So I felt there's finally something that I felt I could offer to members that would mean that it wasn't something where I was just saying, give me money, because I didn't want to do that. But I also wanted YouTube to shut up, because honestly, it was every day that they were pushing me. I don't care if no one joins as a member. I really don't. Like, if anyone is hard up in any way, shape, or form, if you ever need to turn around and go, can I afford this thing in any way, shape, or form? Support me, don't. Just don't. Like, any time that you think that you are, like, if you've got any financial constraints at all, don't support me, please. Please. I am not here to, yeah, please. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I, the money helps, but it doesn't help me enough that I want other people to hurt themselves for it, like, ever. This is not a cash grab for me. It really does help, but it's not a cash grab. Anyway, what am I looking at? I've forgotten what I'm doing. This is a killer puzzle, right? Okay. So I imagine I could do something similar on a 10 cage, but it's nowhere near as easy as down here because this was way more constrained. So in a 10 cage, help! This Cry for Help was brought to you by the Eagle Hand Laundry. So in this 10 cage, the minimum I can put in here, actually the minimum I can put in here is incredibly obvious because I can't put a 1, a 2 or a 3 into this 10 cage. This is way more important. And someone may have mentioned this. What's the smallest two digits I can put into those two cells? They are 4 and 5. 4 and 5 sum to 9. So this has to be a 1. The 1 comes out of there and this has to be the 1. These are also 6, 7, 8, and 9. Ta-da, that was absolutely obvious and screaming at me and I missed it. That puts 1 in one of these 3 cells. However, there is an however. I'm sure they do and I'll get there. If I put a 1 in a 21 cage, the other 2 cells would have to sum to 20, which means I need to use a 10 and a 10, a 9 and an 11. I'm sounding like there might be a problem with those. There's no 1 in the 21 cage. This is a 1. Okay, all of the corners do the same thing. So it's probably in this 20 cage. The maximum I can put into those would be 5 and 6. 5 and 6 sums to 11, which means in order to make the 20 cage work, this becomes a 9. I take the 9s out of those and this becomes a 9. Ha ha! Right, this 21 cage, the maximum digits I can put into this 21 cage are 5 and 7. If I put 5, 7 in here, and I'm not locking them in as definites, I'm exploring concepts. If I put 5, 7 into those, 5 and 7 sums to 12. In order to get 12 to 21, I'm now locking them in. That needs to be a 9. Ha ha! See, if I'm not racing, I get to have ha-ha moments. And I like ha-ha moments. Ha-ha moments are fun. This is a 9. And now, not sure. However, not sure. So 5, 7 means that 7 comes out of those. This becomes a 7. I try and do that in my puzzles as well, Chris. But yes, gas puzzles are great for it. Where am I looking? So, this, could this be 7, 8? There's only 3 possibilities for that cell. And, well, actually, no, that's just a 7. Because see this here? This is a 6, 8 pair. And if I put a 6 or an 8 there, I'm probably going to have a problem. So that is a 7. And there's no 7 there. So if this is 6, 7, this is a 4. And if this is 8, 7, this is a 2. Is that right? But the 7 looks like making this the 5 and this the 7. That has to be right. So this is just a 3. I like one-trick pony puzzles. I really do like one-trick pony puzzles. On my puzzles, and this isn't me selling my puzzles, but on my puzzles, I try and start with a trick, and then I try and do the next level of that trick, and then I try and do the next level of that trick. So I try and ramp up the difficulty, whereas with gas puzzles, I think they might start with the trick, and then they might take it to the next stage. So, and this is what I love about gas puzzles, that level of elegance of sort of developing an idea and teaching it to you. And they do it very well most of the time. 2, 3, 4 go into those. So if this was a 2, I think I'm going to have a problem because these would have to sum to 19 and I cannot do it. If this is a 3, these would have to sum to 18 and still got a problem. So this is a 4. These now have to be 8, 9. So this is an 8, 9 pair. There is no 4 here. Okay, so this is a triple. 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 2, 3, and 4. There is no 3 in either of those. So this is a 3. This is a 2, 4 pair. Now, last time I checked, 2 and 4 summed to 6. I'm just starting to get into a silly mood, and I'm really enjoying the silly mood. So sorry to everyone. That makes this an 8. The 2, 3 here looks over, making this the 4 and this the 2. This is also a really good just enjoy yourself jumping around the grid, having a bunch of silly fun puzzle. That's great. This is a 6. This is an 8. This digit right here better be a 7. And these are 5, 6, and 9. I'm glad someone does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 go into those. Okay. What comes next? Soon you'll see. Okay. Superman. Okay, now 6 is definitely in here. So the other two have to sum to 11. And that's because of Sudoku. Now, with 6 being in here, if it's 11, it's either 9, 2 or 8, 3. So this is 2 or 3. So I now have a 2, 3 pair here. But this 7, 8 is looking up saying that's not an 8. This 9, however, is saying that is the 6. So this is an 8, 9, and the 9 is looking up saying that's the 8. 6 and 8 sum to, the last time I checked, 14. So this is the 3, which means that's the 2 and that's the 3. That was a Hamilton reference you heard. Surely you're not unsurprised by a Hamilton reference in this channel. I mean, Avocado, is it possible that you are the one person who is in my stream who doesn't know that I am completely and utterly obsessed with Hamilton? I am pretty much officially recognized as the biggest Hamilton fan in the world. This 9 makes this 8 and this 9. I'm not picking on you, Avocado. It is quite possible that you don't know that. Please don't be put out by that. That would be awesome if you didn't know that. I am literally going to be flying interstate 4 times in 3 months to see Hamilton 4 times each time I go. Yeah, I'm adding at least 12 to that count in 3 months. Chris, tickets already purchased. This is a 4. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, these are 1, 2, 3. There is no 1 in either of those, so that's the 1. 2, 3 sums to 5. It's only 60, so you're out by a factor of 100. But yes, I've watched it a lot. This is a 7, which means this is the 8 and this is the 7. This puzzle is great, by the way. I am loving this puzzle. 2, 4 makes this 3 and this 2. It is possible I am no longer number 1 for a number of times I've seen it, but for a while cast members were checking and couldn't find anyone who'd seen it more. But there's other people have had heaps of opportunity to catch up. The 6 makes this the 8 and this the 6. 8 plus 7 is 15. So that is the 2. That is the 4. That is the... This is a phenomenal killer puzzle, by the way. I am loving this one. This is 6 and 7. These are 1, 2, and 5. There is no 2 there. These are 1, 4, 5. There's no 4 there. So is it this? Maybe. Well, this can't be an 8 because this would have to be a 0. So if this is 6, 9, that would be 15 and this would be a 2. If this is 7, 9, this would have to be a 1. So this is 2 and 6. This is 7, this is 8. That means this is 7, this is 6. There is a 7 here, so these have to sum to 11. Let's do this first. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 4 makes this 3 and this 4. So this has to be an 8 to make the sum work. The 2 looks up making this 3, so this has to be a 4. So there's no 4 here. This is the 4. 5, 8, 9. If you check the Hamilton Sudoku series on my channel, there are 51 puzzles themed around the musical Hamilton. There's actually a lot more than that themed around Hamilton on my channel, but there are 51 in the Hamilton Sudoku series, which were all set anonymously by setters. The 51st video, the final video on the series, is actually introduced by Jason Arrow, the man who has played Hamilton over 500 times. So this row, 1, 3, 5. So this is a 1 or a 5, and this is a 3. So this is a 2. I could have got that 2 earlier, but I didn't. This is a 5. This is a 1. There is no 1 there. Yeah, I can do Hamilton till the cows come home. 5 makes this 9, which makes this 5. 5 and 9 make that 6, and 6 comes out of there. The 5 looks up making that 9 and that 5. This is missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 2, this is 6, this is 5, this is 2, this is 1, this is 5. It's been a long time since I've had a good like Hamilton run on anything really. That was a really good killer puzzle. One of the first series I did on my channel was the Race to 37 by Clover. It was actually the series that it was one of the series of puzzles that actually it was released on Logic Masters Germany, I think in 2020. And it was one of the series of puzzles that actually got me heavily into not just doing Sudoku occasionally as a hobby, but into doing I'd sit down a couple of times a week to do it, but actually just sitting down and trying to do Sudoku as something that I wanted to develop as a skill. Clover's killer puzzles I absolutely adore, and this one was stunning. I loved this one. The time expected on this one was 7 minutes 30, but you know, I was chatting Hamilton and stuff. I have no idea how long I took. Much longer than that. Could I have solved that one faster? Yeah, maybe. Hey, Eric. Ooh, high opacity Renban lines, I'm assuming. Cells along purple line contain a set of consecutive non-repeating digits in any order. Cool. So, wherever the 9 goes on this line, it has to go with 7, 8. So one of these is 7, 8, and one of these is 4, 5, 6. So one of these is 7, 8, 9. Now, this can't be the 7, 8, 9 because I can't put 7, 8 in here. So this is 7, 8, 9, and I can't put 8 in either of those. And this is the 8, and this is 7, 9. And this is 4, 5, 6. And I can't put 5 or I can't put 6 there. So this is the 6, this is the 4, this is the 5. This is the 9, and this is the 7. There you go. Nori Avocado. We should absolutely try and catch up sometime and chat Hamilton. I will happily do that. With anyone forever. Okay. I cannot put 1 on this line. So 1 is in one of those two. So 1 is in one of those two by Sudoku. Which means this isn't 1, 2, 3. Can it be 2, 3, 4? 2, 3, 4? Maybe. 2 is in one of those two. But maybe. Okay. So I can't put 1 on this line. Could this be 3, 4, 5? 3, 4, 5? I don't know. Now, I can't put 3 on this line. So 3 is in one of those two. I can't put 5 on this line. So this is a 3, 5 pair. And this is 7, 8, 9. And there's no 7 here, but there's no 8 in either of them. So this is 9, 7, and 8. That's cool. Now this is a quadruple, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 7, 8. And there's no 7 here. So with no 7, I can't put an 8 on the line because it'd have to go with a 1, 2. So this is a 1, 2, meaning that is a 3. That's another very cool deduction. Now, these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 7, 8, 9. But I can't put a 5 on here because I need a 4 or a 6. So this is 1, 2, 3. This is the 5. There is no 1 or 3 here. So that's the 2. This is the 1, 3. And the 3 looks like making that the 1 and that the 3. Stunningly good puzzles. This is an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 go into those. There's no 4 there. And at this point, I think I will just, I don't know, stop. There is a 1 in one of those. There is a 1 in one of those. I can't put a 4 here either. So this is actually a 1, 4 pair. And this is a quadruple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 6, 7, 8, 9. However, 7 and 8 must be on this line because it's either 6, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9. So this is 6 or 9. There's no 6 here. There's no 8 on there. So this is actually the 8. There's no 9 there. There must be a 7 in one of those two. I'm not sure I'm following that one yet. There's no 9 here. So 9 is in one of those. Don't think that's the trick either. Is it this quadruple? Which is 1, 3, 4, 9. Well, there's no 1 there because or there. And if I put 9 on this, I'd need it with a 3 or a 4. And that doesn't work. So this is 3, 4. So 3, 4 come out of that. That is a 1, 9 pair. And 3, 4 goes with either 2 or 5. And it can't be 5. This is the 2. There you go. And this is 1, 9. So this triple maybe? 3, 7, 9. Now, if this is a 9, it can't be a 9. And even if it was a 7, I couldn't go up or down. So this is a 3, and this is 3, 4, 5. There's no 9 here, and there's no 3. That's the 7. 3, 7 looks like making that the 9. And this is 1 and 6. And the 6 makes that the 1, and that the 6, which makes that the 1. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm loving this puzzle. 1 is in one of those two by Sudoku. I mean, as I said, I tend to find complaints in them, but I try and be as critical, like you don't know how critical I am of my own puzzles. Like, talk to someone like Full Deck and Missing a Few Cards about how critical I am of my own puzzles. Or Sotek. Sotek has seen me critique my own puzzles. Oh boy, I'm not nice about them. That's a 7. So there's the 7, 8, and this is 6 or 9, giving me a 6, 9 pair, which means this is the 7 and this is the 9, which means this is the 8 and this is the 7. So these are a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Again, I find the heavy opacity of these is a little tricky. This is 6 and this is 4. These are pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the 5 means that's the 3 and that's the 5. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 and 8. And I'll use that 2 to make that 8 and that 2. I'm not sure if my stream just crashed. We'll find out. 5 goes in there because this was 5, 9 and it sees a 9. These are 4 and 9. This box has no information and lots of stuff with like offset weird pairs looking into it. Well, I figure if I'm self-critical, it prevents other people having to put the work in. 8 is in one of those two. 2 is in one of those two. 3 is in one of those two. 4 is lots of places. 5 is lots of places. Is it that cell? Why can't that be 1? Why did it? Oh, because 1 in this row has to be here. This can't be 1, 2, 3. Could be 4. Can't be 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 4 or 9. So this is a 1, 4, 6, 9 triple. So that's 8 and that's 3. That's incredibly weird. I wouldn't call that gas level Sudoku if that's required, but it's possible I missed something. So the 3 looks up making that 5 and that 3. And what do I know about what's gas level Sudoku? I am terrible at this stuff. That's 4 or 9. Have a good one, Selby. Oh, hang on. I just got a weird message. No, okay. I think. What is going on with YouTube? I'm kind of dependent on this thing. There is only one. Ah, that's a 149 triple. What does that do? It makes that the 4, which makes that the 9, which makes that the 1, which makes that the 9, which makes that the 4, which makes that the 1, makes that the 5, and that the 4. See, that's a lot of digits I just got. Thank you, Chris. 1, 2, 5. And don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 and 6. That I can resolve. This is the 1. This is the 6. The 1 looks up making that the 2 and that the 1. The 2 looks down making that the 5 and that the 2. The 9 looks up making that the 4 and that the 9. Ta-da! Really, really good stuff. Dopal or Doppel by Bill Murphy. Now, the date that this puzzle was from for people trying to follow along was April 17. Oh, there's another puzzle called Ganger from the same day. So that actually had a 12-minute solve time on it. Oh, it might be for both of them. So it might have been the 12 minutes might be for doing both of them together. And this one is called Ganger. Digits along line must have the same parity. Okay. So we know we can't put even on here, or we would need 6 even digits, which would be 2, 4, 6, 8, Blopple and Goop. These are 8, which puts 8 in one of those. I can't put even digits in here, so 4 is in one of those. Do I want a colour? So these are from 3, 5, 7 and 9. So 3, 5, 7, 9. There's no 9 in those. There's no 7 there. This doesn't seem good. Like, can these be 1, 3, 5? These would be 1 and 5. This would be a 3. I don't see why not. These are odd. So 2 is here and 8 is in one of those two, which puts 8 in one of those two. Interesting. If these are even, that's an 8 and this is 4, 6. This would be 4, this would be 6. Maybe? Now, one of these is 4, 6, 8. One of those has to be 4, 6, 8. So it's either 6 with 4, 8 or 8 with 4, 6. And the other one is 5, 7, 9. Which would be 7 with 5, 9, or that seems to be 9 with 5, 7. I'm not seeing an issue there. 8 is in one of those two. Can this be 1 with, hang on, 1, 3, 9. 1 with 3, 9 there. Well, there's no 5 here. If this is 1 with 3, 9, this becomes 5, 7, and that's 3. That seems okay. I'm not sure where my pressure point is here. 6 is in one of those two. which means 4 is in one of those two. Box 4, where does 2 go? Ah, right, that's 2. So this is 4, 8. This is 8, this is 4. Right. So this is 4, 6, 8. And these are 5, 7, 9. There's no 7. Right, that's the trick. That's 5, that's 9. Now this, if it was odd, is 1, 3, 9. This would be 1, 9, 3. Maybe. If it's even, it's 2, 4, 2, 4, 6. Also seems maybe. This I know is odd. There's no 3 there. There's no 1, 7 or 5 there. This is 3 or 9. 7 must be down here by Sudoku. 6 in box 2. Ah, so this is even. So it is 2, 4, 6. There's no 2 there. There's no 4 there. This is the 6. This is a 2, 4. And I know the order. 4 and 2. Ta-da! Thank you. 1, 3, 9. There's no 3 there. That's the 3. That takes 1 and 9 out of here. This is a 5, 7. This is another excellent puzzle. 1 is in one of those two. I'm going to put these in. 1, 3, 5. There's no 1 there or there. That's a 1. This is a 3, 5 pair. So these are 1, 3, 5, 7. There's no 1 in those. There's no 1 there. So they're from, this is just 3, 5, 7. This is 1 and 8. There's no 7 there. So 7 is in one of those two. There's no 3 there. Oh, there's no 5 in either of those. This is 3, 7, 5, 3, and 5. Sorry, not sorry. These are now even because I don't have enough odds. So those are 4, 6, 8. There's no 6 there. There's no 4 there. There's no 8 in either of those. So 6, 4, 8. 1, 7, and 9. Sorry, not sorry about what I said. I'm just trying to have some fun. So these are 1, 3. So 1 and 3. Don't worry, don't lose your head. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. LOL, say oh well, or go to hell. Don't worry about what I said. Don't lose your head. Okay. Now that I've inflicted that hell on everyone, that's a 4. So these are 5, 7, and 9. There's no 5 in either of those. So that's the 5. That's the 9. That's the 7. There's no 3 and 9. And these 5, 8. So 5, 8. People have weird tastes. 4, 7, 9. So that's the 7, which means that's the 5 and that's the 7. That's the 9. That's the 7. The 4 makes that the 9 and that the 4. 1 is here. 2 is here. 3 is here. 5 is here. These are 6 and 8, and I'm going to use the 8 to make that 6 and that 8. That's a really... I mean, they're just good fun. I start singing and the number of people in stream drops, but... Worry, don't worry about what I did. Did I miss something here? Oh no, the donations were in euro and US dollars. So I was like, why is it saying that I made a lot more money than I saw in donations? It's because when you convert from US dollars or euro to Aussie dollars, the number goes way up. Like, not a lot, but some. I'm going to turn my aircon on if I can, because it's quite warm here. Ganger was a good little puzzle. And the next one is Secession, which I'm assuming came in around the time of the coronation. I'm not going to check. So appropriately, sorry, not sorry about what I said. Okay, by Philip Newman. Anti-King. So yes, and Kropke pairs. So anti-king is basically cell separated by a king's king's chess move cannot be the same digit. It's sometimes called anti-touch. So basically what it means is any cell that touches another cell cannot be the same digit. So normally by Sudoku rules, those cells could not be the same digit as blue, but in anti-king or not untouch, those cells also cannot be the same digit because they touch the blue cell. Kropke pairs is basically cells separated by a white dot must be consecutive, by a black dot must be in a 2-to-1 ratio, or one is double the other, and you could make, like, these could be in a 2-to-1 ratio, or these could. You can have virtual dots elsewhere. There's no forced negative constraint. So I'm going to restart the puzzle. I am going to disable my timer. You actually didn't give me twice as much as you realized because everything here is redonkulously expensive. Because that's how money works. There's a reason why, things like a Big Mac in some places is 40,000 whatever their currency is, because that's how money works. Okay, so by Sudoku, a 7 is in one of those, but it cannot put a 7 on a black dot, so that is not a 7. I could probably do something on these runs of dots, but not really. Can I do more with Sudoku? 7 is in one of those two. 8 is in one of those three, but that's not particularly helping me. None of these are doing much by anti-king yet. So these are 1, 2, 4, 8, because the only possibilities on a black dot are 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6, and 4, 8, and I can't do 3, 6 on any of them. So those are just the 1, 2, 4, 8 options. Now, one of them is 1, 2, and the other one is 4, 8, because if I make one of them 2, 4, then the other one has to be 1, 8, and 1, 8 has a mathematical problem. Even I can tell that. So one of these is 1, 2 with a 3, and one of them is 4, 8 with options. What that's telling me. Depends on what country you're from, Chris. There are certain places in most countries you can just go to a currency exchange. There was some notes from some countries you can like buy for $10 Australian. There are certain currencies you can get like 1 trillion of. Being a millionaire isn't that special anymore, unfortunately. I've spent $1 million, not of my own money, but I've spent $1 million. 9 is in one of these, right? And 9 is in one of these, and I can't put 9 on a black dot either. So this is a 7-9, right? This is a 7-9 pair, haha. But I can put 8 here if I put 4 here. So this isn't as powerful, but this is a 7-9 pair. If this was a 9, both of those would be 8. And why would that be a problem? Because this can't be an 8. If this is a 9, this would be an 8, and then this would need to be a 7 or a 9, and it can't be. That's a 7, that's a 9. I learned something. 7 can only go next to 6 and 8, which means these are from 5, 7, and 9. So this is a 5. Because if this was an 8, this would have to be a 7, 9. So this is a 6, which puts 6 in one of those three. I still don't feel I'm connecting with the logic of this puzzle. Like, I'm finding stuff, but I don't feel I've found, like, a logical, here is a path. Like, I'm just dragging. Like, okay, that's not an 8, and that's not an 8. And I know 8 goes next to 4. So that's not a 4, and that's not a 4. But, so this is 5, 7, or 9. So thank you for the 300,000. 250. Thank you for the 250,000 donation, Chris. Sorry, Ratfinks. Ratfinks donated it. I have to remember that. Now, this can't be a 1 because both of those would need to be 2, and this can't be a 1. So this is, so which means these can't be the 2s. No, what did I just do? The wrong thing. These can't be the 2s. So if this was 1, 2, this would be 3. If this is 1, 2, this would be 3. If this is 4, 8, this can't be 4, 8. This can't be 8. This is the 2, this is the 1 because of the 7, 9. So this is the 4, this is the 8. 2 goes next to 3, and 4 goes next to either 3 or 5. That was a lot clearer if I had been paying attention. But paying attention means I have to pay attention. So this is either 1, 2 or 3, 6. And it's not 3, 6. This is 1, 2. So if this is 1, this is 2. If it's 2, it's 4 or 1. Right. This can't be a 1. Both of those would be 2, and there's an anti-king. That is a 2. This is the 1, and this can't be 1 or 2. This is 4. I have to remember my anti-king. Have to remember my anti-king. My anti-king comes into play in this puzzle a lot, and I have to use it. So there must be a low digit. So this is 4, 8. If this is 8, this would be 4, and this would be 4. So this is the 4, this is the 8. This can't be, this is the 2. This can't be a 4, so it's a 1. Have to remember my anti-king. Have to remember my anti-king, or I'm doing the puzzle wrong. This can't be a 2, so it has to be the 8. And I just lodged a bunch of viewers. I'm having a ball with this puzzle. Okay, this is really cool, by the way. I'm loving this one. This is a lot of fun. It's like, have you remembered how to do your thing? Which means this is going to be a run of digits. I'm giving Ratfinks a look. 6, 7, and 9 go into those. There's no 7 there. There's no 6 there. So if this is a 5, it'd go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it can't do that. Or it'd go 5, 4, and it can't do that. Because 5, 6, 7, it couldn't go 5, 6, 5. And so this would have to continue up. So this can't be a 5. 6 would have to go to 5, 6, 5, 4 doesn't work, and 6, 7 doesn't work. So this isn't a 6. So this is 7 or 9. 9, 8 doesn't work. So this is 7, and it can't go to 8. So this is 7, 6, which then can't go to 7. So this is the 7. This is a 5. which then can't go to 6. So this is a 4 and this is a 3 and this is a 6. These are 1, 2, and 9. There's no 9 there. There's no 7 there. Eight is not in any of those. I don't need anti-king for that. I can remember my anti-king, but I don't need to use it. 7 is right there because of anti-king. Can't be there, can't be there. That 7 C's there and that 7 C's there. That gives me that 7. Okay. 5 is not in any of those. That's not helpful. Okay, 2 is down here. Okay, so what are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8. That's not 2. Those are not 4. That's not 8. That's not 3. This quadruple, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's no 3 or 4 there. There's no 4 there. This is a 1-2 pair though, and this 1 makes that the 2 and that the 1, which makes that the 1 and takes 1 out of those. This is 2, 9. This is a 7. So these 3, 5, and 6, which means that is not a 6. In fact, this can't be 3, 5, or 6. Because if this was 3, 5, or 6, it sees all 3 of those cells. That's a 4. That cell is that cell, but I'm okay with that. One is right there in this row because that one sees both of those and that one sees that one. This is now a triple. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, and 9. There's no 3 there. So 3 is over here. This isn't 2. But 3 is over here. So this isn't 3. This is 5 or 6. And that is that cell. So there's no 3 here. That's a 5, 6 pair. That's a 3. I don't feel I'm doing this phenomenally well, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. Again, this is just my concept with this channel. Come to this channel if you want to see someone really struggle and have fun doing it. 3, 4, 5, 6. There's no 6 here. 4 is in one of the... Oh, this is just a 4. 4 sees all of those. 4 sees all of those. And by anti-king, that sees... So that's a 4. So this is a 5, 6 pair. So this is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 4, 8. But there's no 4 in any of those. That's a 4. 1, 8 means I can't put 8 in any of those. So this is 3, this is 2. There's no 2 in any of those. This is 4, this is 8, which means this is 1 and this is 8. That's beautiful anti-king, by the way. As someone who's tried it, setting anti-king, really, really hard. Setting an anti-king is easy. Setting a good anti-king is hard. It's really easy to set a bad puzzle. I've done it hundreds of times. Yeah, very smooth. These are 1 and 2. So 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, I believe. There's no 6 here. 3 must be in one of those. Don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, these are 3, 5, 9. There's no 3 here. So the 5, 9 makes this the 3. This is now known. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, this is the 5. So this is the 9. This is the 5. Taking 5 out of both of those, the 6, 9 makes that the 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 9. The 3 here makes this the 9 and this the 3, which makes this the 2 and this the 9. These pairs, 2, 5. 2 makes that the 5 and that the 2, which means there's no 2 here. This is 3, 9. But these are 1, 6, and the 1 makes this the 6 and this the 1. Still not sure. This is 4, so this is 8. The 5 looks down, making this 3. So something is going to break this open. This 5 makes this 6. Just take 6 out of here. This is a 3, 5. But the 5, 6 looks up, making this the 3, this the 5, which makes this the 9 and this the 3. The 5 makes this the 6 and this the 5, which jumps over, making this the 5 and this the 6. And the 6, 9, I'll just use that. Beautiful. Making a good anti-king. And honestly, the way that the anti-king caused these chains to work, I didn't appreciate it immediately. It's like, of course they can't roll back on each other. They see each other by anti-king. Those had to be 1, 2, 4, 8 runs from the very beginning. So if I understood the concept better, I could have just written 2, 4 into those cells and 1, 8 into those. But I didn't. I had to discover it. And allowing me to discover that is masterful setting. And honestly, taking the time to savor that discovery, I will always appreciate the puzzles more if I do that. That was absolutely glorious. I'm going to do a couple more. I know I'm not solving as many as I did in some of the previous streams where I was going to like push, 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 push. But I'm enjoying this more. Odd tapper Sudoku. I don't really understand what tapper is. In the completed grid, all odd digits form a single orthogonally connected group. And there are no 2x2 squares. Okay, so I'm going to end up coloring. Okay, so let's color all of the odd digits. I don't really understand how these work. So odd and even. Okay, so they must form a single orthogonally connected group. So this has to get out. Let's just do some Sudoku first. This is a 3, which is odd. 3 down here, I'm not sure. 3 is in one of those two. 1 is in one of those two. 1 is in one of those two. 4 is in one of those two. Why did I color that blue? Thanks, Butterfly. I appreciate it. That's a 4. I can't ungreen it. I can't ungreen my 4. This is a 4. The problem with this silly joke is, can you carry it too far? Can I carry it at all at my level of fitness? 9 is in one of those two. I'd like to have a fun story. Like I just enjoy things more when I can just like giggle. So there's only one even. So these are 2 and 8. So I've got them 2 and 8. So I've got to put a 6 in here somewhere. Great. Got to put a 6 in there somewhere. Woohoo! 4 is in one of those. 1 is in one of those. Okay, so the tapper is going to come into play, but I don't know how to use it. Okay, there's a 6 in one of these two, which means there's a 6 in one of these two. There's an 8 in one of those two, which means these are odd. Because they can't be 2, 4, 6, or 8. So those are the odd digits, and these are the even digits, and these are 1 and 5. These These are now odd. This has to be the 8. And these are 2 and 6 by Sudoku. But so these are now odd. I don't know how this connectivity thing... Yeah, I don't fully understand how Tapper connectivity works. I figure at some point it's going to be forced. Like I can see I have to get out of this box. So if this was odd, I'd be in... This has to be even. Because if this is odd, I've got no way out of the box. So this is even. Now, I can't come out this way. If this was odd, I've got no way out of the box. So this is even. If this is odd, I can't connect up. So this would be isolated. This is even. And if this is odd, this can't connect up. So this has to be odd and this is even. Great. So there's my Tapper thing. Oh, no 2x2 of odd. Right. Right. This has to get out. Odd has to come through here. Because how do I connect this odd through all of here? It has to come through here. And it also has to come through here, but it could do it through either of these two cells. I'm going to struggle a little with this, and trying to speed solve this is going to cause my head to explode. But, like, not physically. I'm not going to do that on YouTube. I get a funny feeling I'd be demonetized if that happened. These are both odd. I have to get around here. This has to be odd to get through. Like, I have to get through here. So all of these have to be odd. All of those must be odd. Because if this was even, this is completely isolated. The same with all of those. All of those must be odd. So I've only got 3 more odd digits to play with, only. But 2 of these have to be odd. 2 of those have to be odd. But only 2. Okay, now I'm confuzzled. 2 is in one of those 2, which means 2 is in one of those 2. This isn't a 9 because that's even. That's the 9. So that is an odd digit. Now I've got to put a 7 in one of those. But this has to connect up. If this was even, this is isolated. This is odd, and these are both even. Ha ha ha! I'm learning things. I'm not good learning things, but I'm learning things. So this is 2 and 8, and that can't be a 2 for some reason, because of the 2 over here. This is an 8, this is a 2, this is a 4. This is not the 4, this is the 4. This is a 6 or an 8. These are 2 and 6, and I know the order. This is the 2, this is the 6, this is the 8. These are both odd. This has to be even, therefore this has to be odd. So these are 7 and 9 for the row, and the 9 here makes this the 7 and this the 9. This is a beautiful, so far, this is a beautiful explanation of parity, Tapper, connectivity, 2x2. This is a stunning example of this. Like, when I come to teaching puzzles, I do mention occasionally that gas puzzles should be used as phenomenal teaching examples. This is one of them. This is 8, and this is a 5-6 pair. Now, this 6, of course, makes this the 5 and this the 6. So this is odd, and this is even. If people want to understand the concept of connectivity puzzles and everything, this is the one to give them. This is beautiful. This is a 3-8 pair, and the 8 makes this the 3 and this the 8. So this is odd, and this is even. Stunning. 1... I've got all the evens. So this is 1 and 7, and they're both odd. This 9 has to get out, and now I've got 4 of the odds already. So if this wasn't odd, how would I connect up? Like, if this was odd, all of those would be even, and this would be isolated. If this was odd, it'd be isolated because all of those would be even. This has to be the odd. These all have to be even, and I can have a 2x2 of even. What I can't have is a 2x2 of odd. And these are 3 and 5. and I know the order. This isn't the 4, this is the 4. This is now the 8, and this is 2 and 6. And the connectivity is working. This is beautiful. These are 1 and 5. And this is 7 or 9. And I know the order because there's already a 7. So these means this is a 9. Still got to figure out the connectivity, but I'm learning. This is 5 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is even, which means this is the 1 and this is the 2. The 1 means this is the 7 and this is the 1. And this is a puzzle that's leading you back into the Sudoku to discover what you need to discover. It's really cool. These are 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. There's no 3 there. And there's no 3 there. This is the 3. This is a 6, 7 pair. I still only got 2 odd digits to play with. And I can't just run up here. So I think it's going to have to do that. But that's a think and I want to prove. I think it's going to be the case. And if I spent time exploring, I think that's what's going to have to happen. But I want to explore it. I want to do some more Sudoku and see what I've missed. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6. So this is a 7 and this is a 6. And that is sort of leading in the direction I thought might have to happen. Because these are now 5, 8 and 9. This is the 5. This is an 8, 9 pair. And this becomes 9 and 8. So this becomes the even, these becomes the odd, and there's the connectivity I thought would happen, but proved by Sudoku. This is a 7, which is an odd digit. This is just a 6. So this is a 2 and this is a 6. This is a 1 or a 5, and the 1 means that's the 5 and that's the 1 and that's the 5 and that's the 1 and that's the 5. 5, by the way, is odd. This 6 makes this the 2 and this the 6. This is now the 2 for the row, meaning that's the last odd even digit. This is an odd digit. I put in the 1 and that completes the puzzle. Mwah! Okay, there's been a run of absolutely stunning puzzles. Now, I'm hoping that someone, maybe me, will go back and check that puzzle that was the absolute train wreck and find out whether there was a correction posted and it didn't get updated in the sheet or something. I am going to go back and see if I can get an answer as to what went wrong, because I would like to do that puzzle. But I'm not going to do it in this stream. It needs correction or some form of clarification before I do that. But wow. Because this is the sort of puzzle that I'm not very good at, because I don't do pencil puzzles very often. I only do pencil puzzles when they're pencil puzzle logic when they're incorporated into Sudoku. And quite often when this sort of logic is incorporated into a Sudoku, people turn around and say, I'm using logic from other puzzle types, therefore it has to be 5-star difficulty. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really enjoy 5-star puzzles where people like every deduction needs to be pulled apart and really hard found. I find those puzzles often, my time is, I don't have a lot of free time. So any puzzle that's going to require 90 plus minutes of my time is honestly, I have to schedule. In order to watch a movie with my wife, we often have to turn around and say, can we do it Thursday? No. Can we do it Friday? Actually, I've got this and I've got this. Can we do it? So me finding 90 minutes of time, I do my video gaming and all of that sort of stuff, but that's really my only relaxed time. Anytime you're not watching me stream video games or anything, I'm often like working. Like I'm working, sleeping, or scheduled time with my wife, because she and I both work multiple jobs. So like my channel is a job, like it is. So it's really tricky for me to find the time to do a 5-star puzzle. So I tend not to like, and my recording time, I tend to do it before work. And if someone sends me a 5-star puzzle, I actually need to schedule something out of an evening to do a 5-star puzzle because I can't do it before work. I just don't have time. So yeah, how do I? It's literally like plan an entire week around doing a 5-star puzzle, and it's just tricky. Whereas sort of even a 4-star puzzle, if I can do it in an hour, a little over, I can kind of do that. But anything that's going to be like 90 plus minutes, that's going to be a problem. Which is why I tend not to do them on my channel. It's not that I don't want to. It's like I have a full-time job and other commitments. Um, that was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. I've had some phenomenally good puzzles today. The expected time was 8 minutes. I think I took over that, but I'm cool with that. I'm going to do one more and then I'm going to call the stream because this stream's been going for 3 hours and I think that's a good time. Um, I am going to have some water because I'm feeling a bit dehydrated. And I can see that people have lost interest because the people watching the stream has diminished significantly. Want to be starting something. Uh-oh. What? Okay, this is another one I'm a bit confused by. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. And this is the puzzle for the 20th of April. Clues outside the grid give the sum of either the first and second or the second and third cells seen from the direction of that clue. If multiple clues are given, the order of the clues must be determined. What do you mean? If multiple clues are given, the order of the clues must be determined. Hey, Kyle. I don't understand. A clue will give the sum of this or this. And if multiple clues are given, so this might sum to 4, this might sum to 4, this might sum to 10, this might sum to 10. So if this sums to 10, we're done. So I don't know whether this sums to 4, this sums to 4, this sums to 10, or this sums to 10. Hang on. You just check the example given for the earlier puzzle in the PDF is correct. In the pop-up puzzle, it doesn't say both numbers must be satisfied though. It just says either. So if multiple clues are given, both clues must be satisfied by those rules. That is what it means. Okay. But it does say either. So by literal translation, and this is where I wish people would just, okay, if a 3 is given as a clue, the first three cells could be 129 or 912. If 310 is given a clue, the first 3 cells could read as 128 or 912. Because 128 gives a 3 and a 10, and 912. Okay, fine. It must satisfy both clues using that. Okay. That wasn't inherently clear, but the example clarifies. Okay, cool. So there must be a 5 here or here. So one of these is 2, 3. So this must be a 2 or a 3. There must be a 6 in here, which can't be 1, 5, so it's 2, 4. So this is 2, or so there must be a 2, 4 here, which means this can't be a 2, because then I couldn't put the 2, 4 here. This must be a 3, but there must be a 2 here. So this has to be 2 and 4. Hang on. No, it says either column 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. What? Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Um, okay. Anyway, so what I am going to do is I'm going to mark the 6. I think the 6 is done and the 5 is done, and I think that is forced. So there must be a 1, 2 in here. So this is 1 or 2, so this is 2, and one of these is a 1. But there must also be a 10. So these have to be 1 and 8. Now there must be a 4 in here, which is going to be a 1, 3. So this has to be the 1. Because if this is the 1, how do I make 4? So this is the 1. So this is the 3. This is the 7. This is the 8. Now there must be a 10 and a 12 here. So if this is a 10, this is 8, 2. So that doesn't work. So this is the 12. And then to get to the 10, this is the 6. This is 5 and 9. But there must be an 11 and a 12 here. I can't put the 12 here because that would need 6, 6. So this is 5, and that gives me the 11 and the 12, and this is a 9. Right, and actually I'm not going to mark off clues. They're just done if they're done. Okay. Because that box is now done. Now, I don't know if I jump down here or if I just like mark this quadruple. 5, 6, 8, 9. Actually, I really don't know. There's no 8 there. No 5 there. I need to do a 9 here, but I could just do it here, I think. So there has to be an 8, 9. So this is 8 or 9. But there has to be a 16 in here. And 16 is 7, 9. So this is 8. There must be a 7 or a 9 here. But I have to have the 9 in this row. So one of these is the 9. So this can't be the 9. This is the 7. This is the 9. This is not the 9. It's the same logic in reverse. Now, there must be a sum of 9 along here. So this is the 1. I must have a sum of 9 along here. So this is the 2. This can't sum to 10 because for it to sum to 10, it'd be 1, 9. So this has to sum to 7. This is the 6. This now sums to 10, so this is the 4. These are 3 and 5. And the only thing that means that this could be a 7 and this could be a 9 is if that's the 5 and that's the 3. This is beautifully set. It just... Okay, for this to be a 5, it's either 1... No, wait. No. Now, the 15 in here has to be 6, 9, because it can't be 7, 8. But I don't know what to do with that. The 13 in here, though, is 6, 7. Because I can't use 9, 4 or 8, 5. So the 13 in here is 6, 7, and 6, 7 is looking down. This is 6, 7. Yeah, it is. And this contributes to the 15. So this is 6, 7, 8 or 9. So this is 8 or 9, and it's 9. So this contributes to it. I need a 6 in one of those. This is the 6. This is the 7. This contributes to a 14 sum, which means it has to be... Well, let's just put these in. because they're 1, 2, 4, 8. But this has to contribute to a 14 sum. So it can't be 1, 2, or 4. That's just an 8. Which means one of these is a 6. And it's not that one. That's the 6. This is really weird. So I admit I am completely flummoxed by these mid-range digits. So 11 in here can't be 9, 2. It could be 8, 3. It can't be 7, 4. It can't be 5, 6. So there is an 8, 3 here or here. So this has to be 3 or 8. So that's an 8. And there's a 3 in one of those two. Is that correct? So that puts 8 in one of those two. This is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But this has to be part of a 13 sum. So this is a 6. And then one of these is a 7 and it can't be there. So that's a 7. 4 is in one of those two. This is a 2-4 pair by Sudoku. So this is just a 2-4 pair. This is a 1-3 pair. But this doesn't... This is what has to sum to 5. But this is the 3, this is the 1, this is the 4, this is the 2. This is incredible. There's no 6 or 8 here. This is 4, 5, and I know the order. These are 3, 8, and 9. There's no 8 there. This is phenomenal. I still don't fully understand it, but it's wonderful. Yeah. So this has to contribute to a 14 sum. So, I mean, the way I like to do stuff like this is I'm trying to understand what's going on. This is 2, 6, 7, or 9. Now, it's not 7, but this has to contribute to a 14 sum, either here or here. So it's not 2. If it's 6, it needs an 8 in one of those. If it's 9, it would need a 5, and I don't have a 5. So this is a 6. And then I need an 8 in one of those two, which means that's not an 8. Which means this is an 8. There's no 7 there. There's no 2 there. There's no 2 there. That's a 2. So 6 with an 8. This is a 7 or 9 contributing to a 14. And it can't be a 7 because I'd need another 7. This is the 9. This is the 7. And I need to put a 5 in one of those. So there's a 5 in one of those. So this is 6 or 8 only? Oh, there's no 9 there. This is a 6, 8 pair. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 5, 7 pair. So this is the 5, this is the 7. The 6, 8 looks down, making that the 8 and that not the 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. So this is 9, this is 5, and these are 1, 3, and 4. So this is a 3, this is a 4, this is a 1. That's a 6, which takes 6 out of there. One, two, three, 4, 9. So 3, 4, 9 go into there. No, that's not it. What's these? 1, 2, 3? So 1 there. Okay, so what have I missed? There's only one clue I haven't used, which is that one, isn't it? So this can't be 6, 3 or 8, 1 or 9, 0. So the 9 comes in those two cells. So it's either 1, 8, 2, 7 or 3, 6. It can't be 2, 7. So that's not a 2. So this is either 1, 8 or 3, 6. So that gives me a 6, 8 pair. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 4 and 7. And I know the order. 4, 7. Takes 4 out of there. Why does this look wrong? That 9 makes that 5 and that 9. Takes 9 out of there. Takes 9 out of there. 5 in this column is here. So this is 3, this is 4. This is not 3. That's not 4. 3, 9 makes that 4. Oh, I've completely missed this clue. So those sum to 14. So I need to make 13. And the only way to do that is this is the 8, this is the 6, this is the 6, this is the 8. And in order to get to 9, 6 goes with 3, which means this is 2, this is 1. 3 makes that 9, that 3, that 9. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. That's the 2, that's the 1, that's the 2. That was amazingly cool. Once I understood what the rules were meaning, and then started exploring the logic and how that impacted the central cells of those columns and rows in the first regions, beautiful. And yeah, it beautifully telegraphed here, and then telling you you're going to be able to find the same thing here because the pattern is quite clearly telegraphed, and then just keep going. There have been some magnificent puzzles. Now, I believe someone said that the puzzle that I struggled with the rules, it was clarified in the gas leak. So what I might do is I'll check the gas leak, and I might try, if I get a better link, I might try and start the next stream with that puzzle. I don't know when the next stream is going to be. It's probably going to be a few weeks because this weekend I've got a lot on. Next weekend I've got my first musical in months. Then the next weekend I've got a family event. The next weekend after that, so I'm seeing Rent next weekend. 2 weekends after that, I'm seeing Wicked. 2 weekends after that, I'm seeing Chicago. But that means Rent, Wicked, and Chicago are all showing in Melbourne. I'm going to be going to the theatre a lot. So if it was correct in the PDF text, then I will update my link and I'll be able to do it. So I'm glad that got corrected. So what happened is it means that the links in the tracking sheet. Yeah, I've never seen Rent or Wicked, and I have never seen Chicago live. So it's going to be an awesome time for me. I'm going to spend a lot on theatre. but theatre is one of my main hobbies. So this is why I say if people are hard up for cash, don't donate to me. I'm doing okay, but I've made the decision to dip into my savings to go to the theatre. That's what I do. I make that decision. Everyone has hobbies, and I have made that decision. I also do what I can to try and sort of save money around doing that. So this is what I save for. It's what I plan around. Um, I'm looking forward to Wicked. Butterfly. I literally got to the point where at Her Majesty's Theatre in Melbourne, when Hamilton was there, every member of front of house staff knew me. Like at one point, I turned up to the theatre. They hadn't opened their front doors yet, and I was just standing around. They said, "Oh, just come in and wait in the lounge." They hadn't opened yet, and stuff like that. People would come up to me because I would be wearing merch. So I'd be wearing a Hamilton t-shirt and stuff, and people would come up to me and ask questions. And normally, if something like that about where doors were or how the production worked or anything like that, normally staff would interrupt with that. But oh, it's Rick. My name is Rick. People would go, oh, it's him. It's fine. We're just we'll just let him answer the question because they knew I would not do them wrong. Yeah, it was weird. So thank you everyone for attending the stream. Thank you, David, for the donation. Thank you, Ratfinks, for the donation. Chris, thank you. And no, my name is not Bremster. Uh, yeah, I'm a dick. So, oh, I don't care if you're living a lie. Um, this has been a really fun stream. I think this has been the gas stream I've enjoyed the most in quite a while. And I think a lot of it has to do with just no time pressure. That's been really good. No, Bremster is not my surname. Bremster comes from the fact that I started off as Bremick. I had a D&D character called Bremick. When I created my first World of Warcraft character, I was Bremick. And then when we started moving on to social media, I, for some strange reason, I just changed it to Bremster, and I just kept it as Bremster. And that's what it became. I don't know why. It was literally, it's like, oh, Bremick's not available on one of the platforms. And it was like, I'll just go Bremster. It's like, it was just a modification because everyone called me Brem. Because it's the single syllable version of Bremick. And so everyone just called me Bremster. Or everyone called me Brem. And it was like, well, Bremster. I'm just, and that just stuck. So I am not going to do that, Ratfinks. What I am going to end my stream with is thank you everyone for watching. I hope you had a lot of fun. I really did. I got to sing. I got to enjoy good music. I got to enjoy amazing puzzles. I got to enjoy amazing company. And as always, good luck with your solving. Bye, everyone.